for today. With me is my nephew Jeff, and next to him is Tom Bomil, the Drake man, and next to him is Bob Hoey, candidate for Lowell School Committee. He may not announce it yet, but I'll announce it for him. So anyway, what's going on, Tom and Drake?
The new town manager has signed a contract. She will be starting on January the 13th, which I believe was 2 weeks from yesterday. And that's about it. She was in town hall, I guess, a couple of weeks ago. I wasn't there, obviously, but
What are we paying her, Tony?
$220, I belive.
Farm tractor?
No car. She didn't want the car. I don't get that. Who would not want the car? She did not want the car.
Because that's a tax write-off.
Well, they're gonna give her obviously a stipend. Yeah,
They're
but
gonna give her money for it.
I just want the car.
Right.
So she'll start on that date, and then we'll see what happens. She's from Stowe, Mass, but she's the town manager right now in Lancaster, Mass. And just see how long she can last with the Drake political climate. As we've seen Dennis Peendeck was there for 27 years, and we've had 3 town managers since him. So that's
Don't create the guy. He's great.
yeah.
Well, listen, we've had how many city managers since then? 3 or 4?
Yeah.
It keeps going.
I'm
Bob,
hearing, just touch it. Any rumors about the manager and Lowell getting an contract extension? I heard that
I
rumor.
heard it was rumors. There's a rumor it's going to go.
They're going to give him
They're the
a
same person.
3-year contract. That's right.
Yeah, extended yeah.
contract. Have you heard anything about that, Bobby?
No, I know right now I'm thinking, you guys got me thinking, right away I'm saying, well, Eric Gitch is already up working on the budget. The rest of the city council better get ready. Because taxpayers right now in Lowell, especially,
Eric
I don't know.
hasn't even seen the budget yet.
Oh, I'm telling you, he's already working on a budget before the paperwork even comes out for it.
Yeah.
Can you picture how many hours he's going to focus on the budget?
I would think that the manager tells them what he's going to put in new before they even get it. But I don't know that.
I'm sure. Probably.
Without a doubt.
I discussed it with them. They all got something pet they want in the budget anyway.
Exactly.
You got to admit, like him or not, we're very lucky to have a person like him on that city council. Imagine if he wasn't on that city council.
Yeah.
Just,
There's 11.
What?
It
It would be, no, but take Eric off there. Our taxes would fly up the ladder. He's the only one fighting for anything on the budget. He can't, in the past, he couldn't even get a second to cut his own paycheck out of the budget because he doesn't get paid. It's blowing my mind. And how much my taxes have went up, and I still feel I get a good bang for the buck when I listen to someone like Sam Chase on Thursdays. So I'm happy. I like my trash guy. I still got a Christmas gift for him. I didn't catch him come by. I try to go out every now and then and throw them a $5 bill of water and a banana. No, I'm serious. And UPS drivers, which...
Now, do you have the same trash man every week, or is it different? Like Drake, I don't see the same guy
not
every
all
week.
the time.
Yeah, I
Not
don't
all
see the
time.
same guy. It's always different. They mix up the routes or whatever, and...
UPS drivers, excuse me, before I forget what I was saying, that's somewhere where Jeff worked, and last week when I was listening to him talk, you know what I love about UPS drivers, absolutely love about them, and look, he's a good-sized man, but they're in shape. I don't care how big they are, how small they are, how skinny they are, they're all in shape. I had 2 friends that retired from there as truck drivers and did tremendous in life, really did well.
Oh, yeah.
No, it's a great company. It's a great company. We'll just say it. Anybody who have an 18, 19-year-old out there who doesn't really know what direction they're going in, male or female, I can tell you UPS is always hiring, and it's a great career. It's a great career. No college education required.
And before you go to a gym to get in shape, go get a job at UPS and they'll get you in shape. I know a girl, I'll just give her first name. Her name's Laura. She worked at UPS, 12-pack, great shape. She went to ULO, come out number 2 in her class for accounting. She came out number 2.
And UPS probably paid for it, yeah.
UPS paid for it.
Yeah.
Great company, really good company. And I remember talking to you, Jeff, before you left last week. I think we were off air, I'm pretty sure we were, because I remember back a while ago when there was like a strike going on. You know, because I'm really a union guy. I want to talk about unions right now, but that's for another day. UPS went through some struggles with union. I remember pictures in the paper and stuff. The drivers were being followed by people. It was quite a thing. And I think you told me it was over the weight of a package. It went from like 50 pounds to 150 pounds.
Yeah, we
something
went from
like that.
70 pounds to 150, and our argument always was once you get up into that weight, like if you were a furniture delivery guy or an appliance delivery guy for Sears or something, there'd be two people on a truck to deliver that 150-pound, 200-pound stuff. But still, at UPS today, we're at 150 pounds and one person on the truck, and we just use dollies and whatever else, but there's no one there to help us. So, yeah, it was a big fight at one time, but other than that, still
Oh,
just
yeah,
a great
great-
place,
great
just a great
company.
place to work, and it took really, really good care of my family. I was there for 30 years, and I'm retired now, but a great retirement. Couldn't be happier. Glad I did it. So, yeah,
Yeah,
thanks.
so-
Now, Bob, I got a thing for you.
Go ahead.
I went to Jeff's in-laws. We went out there Christmas Eve. So I'm sitting talking to this guy. So he told me he worked at Concord. I said, you know Bob Hoey? He said, yep.
Oh,
His
boy.
name was Tommy Speronis.
Yeah.
He
The
just
top-
opened heart surgery.
He's a Drake kid.
Yeah.
He's a Drake
Related to Peter in that crowd?
No.
Peter and Zinni and...
No.
No, they
House.
they live in Drake now, but they
He's married to
I think they were down in Everett or Revere or
Drake, huh?
down that way. Yeah.
I've heard the name of Drake, it's
Yeah.
Cronus, yeah.
You know, if you don't mind, Ned, I want to just go back to Jeff real quick, because I absorbed quite a bit of what you said on the last show, and because that's a good way to be on a show, to know how another person feels. And when you talked about Amazon, I absolutely think Jeff Thomas was at home celebrating. You mentioned a few things about how Amazon, how much money they make, and how little some people make that are working for him. But the way you said it was definitely a pro-union type of guy, and I just can't see this country without unions. I really can't. I don't think America would ever make it. How's that? And I know unions cause their own issues, and they cost a lot of money. Like teachers, all I do is watch teachers, Jeff, right? And when I look at a $255 million budget, I know barely nothing about a budget. My wife knows everything about a budget. But I do know this, basic numbers. And I left the school committee a few years ago. I would say it's up to 88, maybe 88 cents out of every dollar goes to staff. And there's only 12 cents left over. It always blows my mind, because when people dump on the city of Lowell and tell us how bad our school system is that has 15,000 students in 28 schools, right? I say, wow, we do a pretty good job with 12 cents. If you look at it through those eyes, and that's how I looked at it when I was on a school committee. But I loved the way you talked about, I think it was Amazon, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was Amazon. But I look, unions, if run properly and it partnered with a great company like UPS, and I'm sorry we're giving a sales pitch to UPS, but the point is UPS is about 110, 120 years old now, and the Teamsters, people are going to Google it and call me a liar, but let's say the Teamsters have been part of UPS for 60 years. Well, in those 60 years, I can't remember a losing quarter by UPS. UPS is still, they great pay, great benefits, great retirement, yet they're profitable every single quarter, and not little profits. We're talking billions in profits. So the union does not hurt UPS in their bottom line. I think a good workforce, and the other thing about a good union, good company, good benefits is that longevity. People stay for a long time. So that training curve that many companies have, the turnover that some companies that don't pay as well have, that has to be really expensive for a company. So a company like UPS gets to keep people around for 20, 30, 40 years, and it's a good thing. It's a good thing. So that's how I feel about it. We were talking about Amazon, not to pick on Amazon, but I struggle with the way some of these new big companies in the United States are operated. A lot of contractors, a lot of part-time workers, a lot of low pay, no benefits. And I struggle to see a guy like Bezos, who runs Amazon. He's probably the richest man in the world. He's operating probably the first $1 trillion company in the history of the earth. And, he still has most of his employees are contractors, not paying benefits. And they're essentially the working poor. And then what happens is, us as taxpayers, we subsidize his employees because those are the people, because they don't have a livable wage and benefits, we subsidize their housing, health care, and I think it's a crime. I think it's a crime, and it's a shame that Washington allows it. And that's my stump.
Well, anyways, I appreciate it. I love hearing you talk about that issue. And then when I hear you talk, how we talked, and myself, about how great UPS is, to me, it's a great business, just like I love to talk about where Tom stands in front of all the time, ringing the bell, market basket.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Another great place. You know, the way he treats his staff. They love him.
Well, at some point, you're going to have to start taking Venmo, right? Because no one has cash in their
Well,
pocket
no,
anymore, right?
we actually have the what I call it, the
Cash apps.
on the board in front of you. They have,
Yeah.
you put your phone to it. Nobody takes advantage of it. We have it, you know.
Yeah.
And they talked about Venmo. In fact, some parts of the country here have credit card machines there.
Yeah.
Right there where you, but we still did pretty good. I was telling
Oh, yeah.
before last Monday, a week ago yesterday, I was ringing, and it was the coldest morning I rang this year. And I was gonna ring from 7 to 9. At 8 o'clock, I couldn't do it. My hands were getting numb, and I had good Uggs gloves on. It was good thick. And I left, and about 9 o'clock, I got home, and the major called me, and he said, Tom, he says, you're not gonna believe this. He says, you rang there for an hour. You raised over $800. Somebody
Wow.
put a $500 check. They wrapped it in a
Wow.
dollar bill because they want to be anonymous.
That's nice.
And that was just, if I wasn't there, when they say, a lot of people say a bell ringer's gone, and if I wasn't there for that $500 check,
Never
we might have
would've
got it
gone.
in the mail or something, but we wouldn't have got it in the kettle, So, and we were somewhere up around this area of Key. I asked them a couple weeks ago for the season so far, over $100,000 in this area for bell ringing. So hopefully we can.
Well, would you rather Bill do it this year?
He didn't do it this year. No,
Yeah.
he took a break. He took he's 80, he's going to be 82.
That's
And-
young.
Yeah, but
What did I hear you say? I thought you said it last week. 220,000 was it, or more?
240 so far on the
240.
radio. It could be better.
Ooh.
What's the biggest you ever did?
About 240, 250. Yeah,
That's great.
In this economy.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
So
I think last year was 250,
yeah.
and this year
So-
is getting up
And that's
there.
Greater Lowell or Drake it, or what do we?
Greater-
Yeah, we're Lowell, Drake, Tingsboro, Chelmsford, this year Westford. It's about 5 or 6 communities,
Nice.
And a bulk of that comes from Mike Kunzel. Mike Kunzel, who runs Four Oaks Country Club in Drake, he has every year he has a comedy night for us. And this year, every year it goes up. This year it was over 100,000 he brought in. So it's like a good point. If we didn't have that, we'd be well around 140 bringing it in. But he always does it great. And what we do, what he does that party, nobody's involved with. He has his own people, and the place is always packed. And he always has Lenny Clark or some great comedian there. I have to warn the majors all the time at the Salvation Army. You better not go or block your ears because it's filthy. I mean, because Lenny Clark, he says, I don't care. You come to pay to see me, So, but yeah. So and the needs out there. I mean, there's people. It's just unbelievable. You hear what I like to hear is the stories from people who are doing pretty good now and needed the Salvation Army way back when. They were up against it. I always tell the story about a contractor. I'm not going to say his name, but he's a heating HVAC company he has. And we had an issue down at the on Appleton Street. This had to be about 10 years ago with a boiler or something. I called him and said, hey, I said, Eddie, think you could send? He says, what, Salvation Army? He said, I'll be down there and just tell them don't expect a bill because he was poor at one time and now he's a pretty rich guy, and they don't forget, So, and you hear it all the time. You hear it all the time from people who, they help their parents, they help them.
Yeah.
If there was a fire in their home.
Yeah,
Jimmy Gookin used to tell me a story all the time, the late great Jimmy Gookin, that
Great guy.
the Red Cross would charge you for a coffee and a donut. The Salvation Army gave it you for
True.
nothing. Yeah.
That's true.
So-
I talked to my uncles over in the Second World War, and they praised the hell
Yeah.
out of them.
Yeah.
Where was the Red Cross? The Salvation Army. Go to them; they'll find
Yeah.
out for you.
Yeah. So,
If you don't know, what's the percentage of every dollar taken in goes to actually the needs of the people? What is there a percentage?
I'm not, I don't know.
Yeah. No, if you don't know, you don't know. No.
I'm gonna say 90%.
Yeah, that's great.
There's
Yeah.
no big salaries in the South.
No,
Yeah.
I understand
Yeah.
that. I was just,
Yeah.
that's always a good thing
Yeah.
to tell the people,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
your dollar's not going to waste,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
90% or 80%, even 80% is great.
Yeah.
You know, 'cause
I'm willing to say 90%.
Yeah.
I mean, they do what, they have some, I mean, they don't get a pay, they do get a vehicle, they get
Yeah.
a home. The home is up on the end of it was donated by a doctor back in the 40s, I believe, to the Salvation Army, and it can never be sold. The only one it could sell is the Salvation Army, but that money would have to go into to another, like a nonprofit or something.
Non-profit,
Yeah, so-
NGO, whatever, yeah.
You know, you could say a lot of bad things about Lowell, but the one thing you can't say, it's a very giving area and a
Sure
very
is.
giving city. You know, it's, we have our big issues, but people are great. Look at that, $250,000. That's a lot of money.
Ron gonna retire, is he gonna go again next year?
He says I think he'll go forever,
Yeah.
He did mention something to me that he was gonna cut back on, like, maybe once he gets the new barn up, he's building it, once he gets that, he's gonna probably cut back a little more than he has, but he's 72 or 73 years old.
That's
Enjoy
young.
life. Enjoy life.
Ed, what do you think?
Well, I'm going to a wake on Thursday for a
Yeah.
person in their 50s who lost their battle with
I lost
cancer.
my father at
You just
50.
never know. Yeah, you told me that, yeah. But this girl came back so many times. She beat it, then got sick again, beat it, got sick again, and then finally it gave it. She couldn't take it anymore. She passed away Sunday morning. Co-worker of my wife's, yeah.
You know, I missed you, Ned. When you were in around, it was kind of tough because it was after the election, and you know how I like to bust you up a little bit now and then and talk Democrat and Republican all the time. But what do you think about the speaker this Friday? Who do you think? How's
I
that going
think
to
Johnson
go?
will get it again. I think the Republicans have to make it, that they work. They can't shut
They
down the
can't show
government.
diversity.
They can't show this-
division.
Yeah, but there's one person from, I think it's Tennessee, and he says he's definitely not going to vote for him. They're going to have to turn him around because that's the only vote, he's only one vote.
Now,
but-
how do they know there will be no Democrats voting in the
There
Republican?
might be, you never know, because he's got a tight rein on it. He's like Nancy Pelosi. He's got them right where he wants them. He won't do a thing until he goes, But I want to go back to you a minute for Bob.
Yep.
We're hearing rumors all over the city. There's different rumors, so I got a new one. What's the rumor this week? Now, this week the rumor is Danielle McFadden going to run for school committee?
She's announced.
Yeah.
She announced?
Yeah, citywide.
She's got a website and everything. She's announced
That's
citywide.
great. She'll make a good citywide.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Are you going to go in citywide?
Well, let me put it this way. It's not past January 1st, I'll tell you, but just knowing she put her name out there, there's no doubt if I don't hear another name come out, citywide, I'll throw my name in just to help her out. Because we have to change the school committee in Lowell. We have to. They're
this
not
thing here.
accomplishing what I want anyways. They're just not.
Now we've got the new city state rep going in this week.
Yeah,
Wednesday,
more.
always the Wednesday. So it's this Wednesday they all get sworn in.
Casella gets sworn in tomorrow. And,
Yeah, and then Hung, that's the name, Hung.
Hung, yeah.
Did you see what they did at the State House last night?
No,
I guess
No.
they were there till like midnight passing the last few bills. One of them that I thought John McDonough would like is having cameras on a bus,
school buses.
school buses.
I agree with
We
that.
already have them on our buses. Yeah.
They're leaving it for, I like to see seatbelts on buses, especially if they go up on 128 to go to Foxborough or something like that with kids. And these highways are crazy right now. But anyways, the cities and towns can make up their own mind if they want these cameras on their buses, so.
I saw a news story last night. I think one of the Boston stations had there's cameras on buses already being tested around the state, and already the cameras have picked up 35,000 violators, 35,000 people passing buses with red lights on.
Wow.
I mean, that's just ridiculous. I
And the
couldn't
kids are in front
live
of the
with
bus,
myself
too.
if I ran over a 4-year-old.
Oh.
I couldn't live with myself. I just can't believe it.
The only gripe I have with the yellow school buses is that if you're behind one, I don't know if it ever happened to you, and they pull up to a bus stop, and if the kid's not there, they wait for him to come. Nobody waited for me to come. If I wasn't there,
Yeah.
that but and then
That's
You ever see
CTI.
that? You
Yeah,
see
but
that?
that's not really a lot of the public school buses that do that.
That's for the
It's
CTI.
CTI.
yeah, that too.
Child care.
Yeah.
Because some of these kids that are coming out of the houses, Tom, 2 and 3 years old,
And the mother's still in pajamas when she
Right.
picks him up at
But
3
then the
o'clock.
mother starts having a conversation with the bus driver. How's your, I mean, and people are behind me shooting at me. I'm saying, I can't go anywhere.
Well, they have to go in and undo the seatbelt. The bus driver doesn't. The parents have to go in and.
Oh, put the kid in the
Yeah.
bus. Oh, I didn't know that. Yeah.
I just look at the bus driver, he has a big seatbelt on, I wonder why the rest of us don't.
Kids on the CTI buses have seatbelts.
Yeah.
Now, another rumor. Let's throw this one out. Is there a word? Well, let's start with, we got any new candidates for council? I haven't heard one yet.
No, I'm glad
No.
you brought that up.
No.
We have to get somebody to come out. I think this neighborhood right here needs one bad to come out. We'll see. But
Now,
citywide, to me, the citywide election is the one you got to focus on, because you know they don't want this Eric Gitche around.
Oh, he'll win.
Oh, he'll win.
Oh, no, he's going to
He'll
win.
better than,
I
yeah.
didn't say he wasn't going to win, but do you think they want him around, Tom?
Of course.
Oh, no, of course
Oh,
not. It's
what?
like, of course not. They don't want him around. Is that what
I
you
bet-
said?
Yeah, I'm asking Tom.
Yeah, yeah.
I bet you right now he has a beer with Golden after a meeting.
You think so? Maybe?
Maybe not a beer every
But
week.
my
Eric's
thing
not a
is, you're not
drinker.
going to stop him from doing his
Oh,
job.
no.
He says the things they don't want to hear,
Yeah, yeah.
you know, and I'm just saying, as a taxpayer, I want to hear more from him. I'm dying to watch the budget hearings coming up this year.
Oh, they
Yeah.
won't be there till June. May,
Now, I'm
June.
hearing that you say about rumor mills, it's, you know, and it's always rumors, it's always BS rumors too, that Conway's won and out, he's not going to run again? Any rumors to that effect?
I
All you have
haven't,
to do is have a roll call that says, city councilors, raise your hand if somebody in your family has got a job with the city of Lowell since you took your seat.
Now, the next rumor.
it's always about.
Did anybody hear about Conway? I mean,
No, I haven't
that's
heard
new to
that.
me.
Yeah. And that,
How old is
this
Dave
could be Rita's
Conway?
last term. That's the two rumors I heard. But then again, it's all.
Well, that was a rumor.
What'd you hear about
last-
Dave?
One and out. This will be, he's going to not run again.
done?
That's what I heard, a rumor. The rumor, that's the rumor mill.
Well,
But then again, you weren't in the room when I heard there was going to be a 3-year contract extension for the city manager. I heard that too. And I live in Drake.
such a great job. I know that that's probably in the works.
Yeah, yeah.
Who do you think will be the next mayor?
I think we should keep Danny.
I think he wants it.
I
He's
know
doing a
Danny.
great job
I'm
as the
close
mayor.
to Danny. I don't see it. I think he's enjoying it. But I
He
think
loves
it's-
the job.
Yeah, he loves the job. I don't know. Who do you think be the next mayor?
If Rita's
I don't
not,
know,
if this is
but-
Rita's last term, they should make her mayor, but that'll get me in trouble with some people. But I like Rita, you know. Let's go through the council. First councilor up is Chow, where he's gotta find a job, right?
He's one and done.
Yeah.
Sakari.
Well, they're saying he's going to get a job, but I don't know where. With Hoey or
I've been hearing the governor's gonna give him a job, the governor's gonna give him a job, she hasn't done it yet.
yeah.
I don't know, she'll get reelected, but who's gonna run against her?
Nobody.
Nobody.
What about Charlie Baker? Hear that rumor?
What?
Going to run against Markey. Nobody heard that rumor?
No?
Oh, that was all over the news the other day. Yeah,
In this state, though, he'll lose.
he's going to take
He'll lose. In
yeah.
this state, he'll
Oh, he's
lose.
well-liked, though.
He's well liked amongst the Democrats. He's like a moderate Republican, right?
His mother was a Democrat and his father was a Republican.
I thought one of the biggest elections we've seen was the last one, when we heard, remember John saying, "Bye, Ed"? Ed Markey, I'll never forget it. "Bye, Ed."
Well, everybody
Drove
has, as we know, Ned, everybody has an expiration date on him, right?
Yep.
Yes, and I think Markey's is next. Everybody has an expiration date.
Our current city council. So who do you think's gonna be the next mayor?
Well,
Well, I
that's
can
John
only
Leahy's not in that.
I can-
Yes, he is.
No, but he's not there anymore.
No, that's,
Yeah, I could only see two people, either
Rita or Rocky?
Danny or Eric. Danny or Eric.
Eric
But Danny can get the votes, Eric probably can't.
What about John
John who?
Dakota?
No, I don't think he could get mayor yet.
No.
No.
Kim Scott?
No,
Wow.
that's just my opinion.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
you never know. But it's a toss-up right now, the hottest. When you're looking at that picture to me right now, I would have to say the top three that have done the most work, that, in my opinion,
Eric.
the mayor, Eric, and Corey Robinson.
I'm gonna quote Ned, "If you make Eric the mayor, that shuts him up."
That's right. That's why they made Dick Howard the mayor when they were doing the Sonka Center.
And the Wayback Machine.
Yeah. he had to, because
So
then
how
they
does it
had,
how does it shut him up, Ned?
because he has to get, they have to use him to pass it through the council and get it in, the council to take care of it, and that's how, and keep him quiet. He has to run the meetings. That's my opinion, but I had heard that. But I don't know, look at Danny Rook's done a good job. But if Rita's gonna retire after this term, is her daughter Christine gonna run?
I don't
That's
know.
a rumor right here.
I don't talk to Rita like I used to, but
I don't,
know.
I haven't called her to wish her
She
happy.
just got back from a cruise. I saw Rita last Friday at the senior center, and she looks marvelous. Had a great cruise, good time, and
Yeah.
good spirits. But I didn't have any time to chit chat with her. So
Yeah.
I haven't talked to her for a while.
Yeah, Christine would probably have a great chance to win because she's such a nice person when you meet her. You know, that's the thing about local elections. You got to meet a lot of people if you want to get elected. The people that vote.
Yeah.
It's hard. We got over 70,000 registered voters, and what do we get? 10,000 come out if we're lucky.
Well, I think that, let's think, who do we think wants to be mayor? Well,
Well, you know, Noon wants to be mayor, right?
and so's the other one down the end, the
Rethiem?
vice mayor.
Rethiem?
Yeah, no,
Paul Rethiem?
they won't.
Yeah,
get it.
yeah, Paul
If it's
Rethiem.
not Danny, it might be Eric. That's it. That's all I could see.
It'll be Rita.
Rita,
Doesn't ever care what the man.
I would have gave it to Rita last time, like you said, but I'm glad they gave it to Danny. Only because of schools. When I speak about Danny Rook, I'm not saying this about city council. I'm not happy with the city council. But I'm happy with Eric Gitcher on the city council. The school committee is what I'm not happy with. Hearing Danielle coming out, and I don't even know the girl.
Oh, sweetheart.
I don't know if-
she was the
I don't even know if I
Salvation
ever crossed her path, to be
She
honest
was
with
on it
you.
by the Salvation Army, wasn't she?
She was on the, that's how I met her. She was on
Yeah.
the board with me. Yeah. Then she dropped, when she got the presidentship of the Chamber of Commerce, she took out, she got off the board. But,
I
now,
remember-
but doesn't Eric have a very demanding job? Meaning, I know Danny does too, but Danny, there's flexibility with taking time off. He's like runs the grounds out there, and everything, right?
Yeah, well,
Yeah, he can't go to all these,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
you
mean,
know, some of us like to work, right?
yep.
And then there's people that really like to work. You know, I can speak for this guy right here behind the camera. Hours he puts in is incredible, right? But Eric Kitchen loves to work. He
Well,
loves
wait,
it. He,
mother was
listen,
doing something.
his
Eric
mother's
Gitcher-
back in town, I heard.
oh, I met her.
Joanne's back in town.
I met her
She left
recently.
Florida. They were
Yeah.
sick of all the storms.
Oh,
So
it's
she
the Christmas season, so what the heck?
No,
That's
she's
what-
moving back
Your
here.
kids.
All
Right.
right.
Oh, moving back?
Yeah.
Okay. Didn't hear that one.
So now who becomes the dean of the state education? Who's my God? Vanna Howard? Has she got more time than anybody
Yeah,
now?
yeah. Yeah, she's the dean.
Right, Roger's going to have his St. Patrick's party. You told me that.
Yep, we're honoring Tommy Shanahan.
Good
Oh, that's
shot.
nice.
That's
Yeah.
a good shot.
It's March 15th. I'm sure Bob Cox will be on talking about that between now and then. So Tommy's a well-liked guy.
Yeah, doing well.
March 15th down at Lindsay's. So
What day is that on?
it's Saturday morning.
Saturday morning, yeah.
It's
That'll
always
be
going to be
good.
on a Saturday. I think they're going to keep it. They're not going to keep it like St. Patrick's Day.
No, there's no need. Saturday, it's a free, most people are off, it's a good idea.
Yeah, yeah.
And St. Michael's is May 1st.
Is it gonna be in Lindsay's, where's it gonna be?
Lindsay's.
What's
got
going
the
on
full- you
over
got the
there?
full road,
Parish in trouble financially, I'm hearing.
Probably,
Yeah.
well, all we have is poor people that live in Centerville. We don't have the money that
Wow.
they have
Wow.
over there where
That's
the
a beautiful
where the swamp
church,
is. Yeah, the swamp's got all the money.
Yeah. The what?
The swamp.
Well, you know, we lost.
Where's the swamp, Ned?
Over where Hoey lives now.
What
They
swamp
knocked
is?
it.
What swamp
Oh, the
is this?
Belvederian.
Yeah.
But really, come on. You know where the swamp is now.
What swamp is the new state rep in? Whose swamp?
The
is he in?
Highlands.
But whose swamp is he in? Like, is he?
Kevin Murphy. No, Kevin Murphy was with
No,
Charlie.
Kevin was with and he was with with Ratty Mum.
I saw, I talked to
Let
Tara.
me in on it. What's the swamp?
That's
Different
that's
political
Bob. That's
factions.
Rob.
I thought.
That's Ned. Ned's saying this is
You know
the
what's
swamp
funny?
right here, Belvedere.
That's where
Jeff.
Bobby lives now.
Like
Jeff,
I'm in Danny Rook
but
swamp.
Let's make it clear for Jeff. Belvedere, number 3, they call it the swamp, right?
Yeah.
They vote.
Oh,
They
so
vote. That
Yeah.
district votes. That district beats the rest of them combined. Whoever that district wants, they get.
That's Brian Martin and Barry and Brian
there's
Barry.
more than-
Brian Barry, Brian
Well,
Mott.
what people
Yeah.
have to learn is you want change, you go vote. Right?
There you
and
go,
if people,
buddy.
if they don't realize the power they have. So, hey, change the topic just a little bit. Jimmy Carter this week.
Yeah.
Passed away, right?
Yep.
You know, my opinion, great human being, crapola as a president, but you know, really was an amazing guy. You know, I saw a lot of stories about him this week and knew a lot about him, and yeah, really just a big loss.
Yeah.
Jeff, my colleagues had to look him up on Google. Who is Jimmy Carter?
Oh yeah, no.
I really feel like an old buck now.
Yeah, but he won't be known for the worst president ever.
No.
There's a new one right now. There's a new one.
Getting sworn in this 20th.
Oh,
this month.
jeez, yeah. I tell you what, I'm looking forward to the change. I really am.
I am, too.
I'm sorry, and I'm just I really feel good about this. You know, and not necessarily the president, but the administration. I just really think we need
He's
a
got to
change.
get him.
Well, he got
in
himself
the-
into a little, I guess they played a clip of the new president-elect at one of his rallies back when he was running, and he said this was going to happen, this was going to happen. One of the things he said, he guaranteed prices to go down, and he was interviewed last week, and he said, well, I can't guarantee that. Now, that
Listen,
could backfire on him.
that's
you know?
not. It's hard to get prices to go
it
down.
is hard.
You know,
They'll never reduce the prices.
you know that to tell Hostess bread how much they could sell bread for.
Gasoline's
right?
going down
You know,
daily. Gasoline's going down daily.
Yeah,
and it's
it's-
winter.
Yeah.
It's still the place. You still go to the place in Draco, Bobby? $2.85 a
I haven't
gallon.
been there in a while.
Yeah. There was a place up by me, $2.77 a gallon.
Okay.
So,
Wow.
yeah, so
I get that in Tewksbury, $2.74.
yeah,
Really?
So,
Yep.
Where, Prime?
you know,
Yep.
but
Yeah, my favorite place is Hafner's. Because I look at Hafner's in Lowell Lake, I look at Market Basket, they hire city kids.
They have two different
But
prices,
Hafner's
right?
got
You
20,
can be- remember there
14
was something at
stations.
Hafner's? Somebody, yeah,
And
car
the
wash.
family's fighting like hell all the time.
Yeah. I think they have two different prices at Hafner's. Like they
Oh,
have
yeah,
membership for
depending
car
on the
wash.
day.
Yeah.
Depends on what load of fuel comes in.
well, I'm looking forward to just hopefully job growth, corporate growth. You know, just because I truly believe that it you know, just a good economy, good jobs trickle down to people, and then they have money in their pocket, and it can solve a lot of problems. I just you know, I know there's people out there that really need help, and they'll always deserve the help, but and happy to give it. But I really believe there's a generation coming up right now, and they just don't have the same work ethic or saving ethic that we grew up with, and you know, people listening and saying, "Oh, geez, bunch of old guys telling us how to live." You know, the world's changing. Well, when it comes down to it, the world might be changing, but the bottom line is, you need a good job, you need good pay, and you need good benefits, and that's, you know.
I
That's
always
just the
said
way
that.
it
I'd
is.
hire guys, electricians, plumbers. Why are you going for this job? I need the benefits for my family.
Yeah.
You know, and that's what happened.
Yeah.
You know, even though I was a big Trumper, I'm still a big Trumper because I want to change for my grandchildren. I got the best out of America. You know what I mean? I can't complain at all. But I was worried for the future of my grandchildren.
Yeah.
And I'm still worried. But what I think, and I'm a pro-union guy, and I'll tell you something, if I was in the union, I'd be a little nervous. Changes are coming. There's no doubt they talk privatizing the post office.
They
We were
should have
talking-
done that years ago.
Well, the post
I'm just-
office is really privatized anyway. The more you go sit and watch, and there's more. Again, just another business that is all subcontractors moving mail around. They don't fly their own mail around. They don't truck their own freight around. You know, it's they subcontracted themselves to death.
No,
So
I didn't mean to just bring them up because I'm looking at the Department of Education. If they think things aren't coming their way, they're crazy.
Hey, did any of you guys hear the Chinese have infiltrated the Treasury Departments?
Yeah, I
yeah, I
the
heard that
news this
yesterday.
morning.
Heard that yesterday. Yeah. So.
Buy gold.
Well, you know, all this money moves around now just by a push of a button. You know, no one touches their cash anymore. Well, maybe John does, but I don't. You know, but
John's in a
it's
good
all,
mood today.
it's all a number,
Yeah,
just
you're
a
gonna
number,
put-
move this money over
Put
here,
his
move
fat
this.
smile over there. You're doing all right yourself, man.
And I'm waiting, just that one day where I wake up and my bank account's at zero and I can't prove it to the bank, because,
Well, who do you call? Like now with
there's
Enterprise,
nobody to call now.
with Enterprise selling off, who do you call?
Yeah, yeah,
Oh, I'll call Rockland Trust about my problem. No.
yeah. No.
Who do you know at Rockland Trust?
I keep
Yeah.
forgetting to ask my brother if he knows anybody down there, but I forget every time I see him.
Yeah, well, it's a big change for Lowell because George Duncan, I always believed he would never sell the joint, but it's gone.
They just got him in a corner. He hasn't made a decision down there in 3 years.
But
I'm
still,
sure a lot of
when
people
he opened the bank, my memory is it's always going to be
Yeah.
a local bank,
Yeah,
and it ain't no more.
no more.
Yeah, no, my father was senior vice president of Eastern Bank and Century Bank in Massachusetts, and he had a $2 billion portfolio over the years. He's a commercial lender, and half his deals were done by handshake. They were handshake deals. He did the dealerships. He'd walk right in and look a guy in the eye and make a deal with him. And so you can't do that today.
Well, the federal people got involved because they made deals with people they shouldn't have.
Yeah.
I would be surprised.
But I think they made deals mostly with the people they should have. I'm not saying they didn't make bad deals, but like my father's default rate was when he retired was 2.5%.
But how about his colleagues in the same business?
I don't know. I'm talking just him. I'm talking about him. I
Your
know
father,
the
your
shady
father
deals.
did a great
Yeah.
job, but there are banks in Lowell that completely folded
Yeah.
because they lent money to their friends.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah. Well, right over the border, I don't know if you remember Pelham Bank and Trust, but Pelham, whatever, but the Feynman family, and Louis Feynman was famous
Yeah,
with the
yeah.
farmers. Farmer could walk in there in April and tell them they need $100,000 for seeds, and Louis would hold the note until the fall when they harvested, and they pay them back. And he did that for years and years and years, and then one day he was walked out in handcuffs. So, but yeah, I mean, yeah, if you deserve it, banks should be easy. But now it's really getting difficult, and for many reasons. But
They always said, Roger Howe told me this story years ago, about the cry-in bench at the Union National Bank. It was outside Homer Bourgeois' office. He said, I call it the cry-in bench. Every Monday morning, they're in there crying. They needed some money to get going for the week, right? So if the bank could, the story was, if the bank could not give him the money, he'd send them up to Jeanne d'Arc, because he was the president of that, too, because they would give him the money. The loan was a little easier to get there than at the Union National Bank. But look at the Union National Bank. They were here for years. Homer Bourgeois was a great
It's
person.
long gone. Ned, read this one.
When you can't manage, you privatize. Privatization does not save money unless the organization is poorly managed. The company you privatize to add cost to operations, unless the operations were poorly managed. Well, I tell you, that's why we didn't become privatized, because we were so well run at the water department. I'll give myself a pat in the back. But we did. We stayed on top of everything, and you just have to stay with, and you can be good to people at the same time,
he did forget to charge Drake at one time, though. For the
Oh, we
water.
caught him stealing. And the only reason we caught him, and here's the truth, is that we had to put these new forms in for renewal of the Safe Water Drinking Act, right? So this guy, Don Goyette, he did all this work for me. He said, there's something wrong here with these numbers. So then we found out that Nick was shutting the pipe off.
We need just to leave the names out.
All right.
Yeah, you shouldn't be using names.
No
yeah,
name.
yeah.
And they,
Especially some of his
but his
past.
friends got no bills. His friends never got bills. So they say, I don't know that. But I remember when that all happened. $3 million, they paid it back. He just died, the kid there. What was his name?
We don't need names.
No, the one who was assistant manager in Drake. McCarthy, yeah.
Oh, Gary took
Gary,
over the,
yeah.
yeah.
He just died.
Ned, here's one more for you.
In the beginning, the private company will give a low price, then jack up costs. That is true. Unbelievable. I can tell you stories of former city managers, different people. And
You can tell them as long as you don't use their name.
I'm not using the names. And I mean, talk about pressure. Pressure on me to, when we were. But I went with the company that I liked, because they were good and they were truthful. And they worked well for the city. Saved the city money. We'd get a contract for 11 million. We only spent 9.6, you know, things like that. But you just got to be on top of it. You can't just sit there and say, I'm going to work for the next 13 years, keep my mouth shut, not rock any boat so I can retire. You don't do that. You know, you have to work to keep your employees happy, keep a lot of people happy. In the end, I had employees that I had problems with throwing up, you know, we had toe-to-toe and things. They thanked me because I was fair, which made me feel good, you know.
Ned, what is this, it's going to be signed into law next week, the Social Security Fairness Act? Something to do with, it's going to be, I think it's going to benefit people like you and I that work for public, in the public, and did you hear
Yeah, because
anything about that?
they took a percentage off our Social Security.
Yeah, and that's going to be, I think we're going to get
Gonna get it back.
Yeah.
Elizabeth Warren, thank you.
But you didn't pay into Social, did you pay into Social Security?
Yeah,
well, yeah,
they don't anymore.
worked-
Since
I had worked-
'88, the city has not paid in. Every new employee starting since 1988 pays into Social Security now. But I never paid into Social Security anytime I worked in the city.
My understanding that President Biden's going to sign that today,
Today,
or it's gone.
oh, I better get it. Let me see how many
I heard
years
it was going to be January 6th, but, you know, maybe I'm wrong.
He won't, well, my understanding, all of this bill, it expires today, the 31st. And he has, and Monday Night Dinner Club, we were talking about last night, some people, he already signed it. I couldn't find anywhere on the internet where the president signed it.
I would say he did, but they haven't announced it yet.
Let me see if I
That's
can
what it
find it.
is. Like the guy that in Florida, at midnight passes bills and keep it quiet and the doors are locked, you can't get in with the press. Now, where's J.D. Vance? I haven't seen him anywhere since the elections. Like Camilla, she's hiding too, you know?
I saw Kamala and Joe.
Did you go to supper with them or
At a
breakfast with
musical
them?
conference, they don't talk to one. They're sitting next to each other. They don't speak to each other.
Yeah.
You notice how,
But then Jill and Trump were at something recently, and they were chatting it up. They were chatting it up.
That's how Joe Biden is. He's just
Jill, I said Jill.
Oh, Jill, the wife. Yeah.
Yeah, they were over in England, I think, or something. Or
Yeah, it was something. It was just
a Pope event or something. Oh, the opening of the new church.
You know, church.
That's right. Oh, right. Oh,
Notre
right.
Dame
That's
said,
it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Notre Dame.
That's right.
What a beautiful job they did that over. I watched a thing on PBS on that, and how they cleaned it up and how long it took to cover the walls, uncover the walls. Talk about uncovering the walls. St. Michael's painted around the two small altars, and I remember as a kid, and they peeled off this stuff in the back, and I remember when it was there, and I forgot that was up there. They just painted over it, you know, and now they need 15 grand to put it back up again. I don't know if I'm ever going to get it, you know. But they just, they did their, the school did their yearly auction, and I guess they made $4,500 or something like that, you know.
Yeah.
Which is good for that, for a small church. The church is small. When I think back when I was a kid
That's a
in
beautiful
Alta
church.
Boy,
You're talking about St. Mike's?
yeah, they used to be packed. There's nobody there anymore. If there's 80 people at a and a 6 or 7 o'clock mass, it's a
Well,
lot.
ABC had a thing on this week on the decline in people going to church.
Yep.
It's a nationwide thing. Whether it's a synagogue, whether it's a temple, I don't care what it is, the kids don't go.
No, kids do not go to church.
And the church, the Catholic Church, is not in listening mode. They don't want any ideas. Just send your dough. We don't want, no, we don't want to hear from you. Just send us the dough.
Yeah,
And
1.2
until they want to
billion
start listening
Catholics
to
they
their
put in.
parishioners, it's not going to change.
I'm amazed at how many kids aren't baptized any longer. How many
No.
kids don't get baptized. How many kids don't have godparents. It's amazing. It's
Well, I-
I'm baptized, they
you
never
know,
get
it's not like
confirmed.
when we
They
were
What do
never
you got to lose? What do you
have
got
nothing
to
to
lose? You know, have your kid baptized. What do you got to lose?
nothing.
You
have
think
nothing
there's
to
no
lose.
God?
Of course there is.
Well, you believe, but
Yeah.
a lot of kids,
I know.
they think that they're sure there was a God, but he's dead.
Let
I
me
don't
tell
think
you
that's
something.
true.
I have 3 sons. None of them go to church. I know my grandchildren don't go to church. It's
They go
just
to the
it's not like
Immaculate,
it's not anymore. They're not the Immaculate anymore. No.
Too expensive?
It's a long story. But yeah, they don't go, and they, you know, but I don't know. Yeah,
And like-
like I say
like-
to people all the time, when I go to mass almost every day, and I'll say to the people, "Who's going to be in this church 15 years from now?" And we're
Nobody.
gone? Nobody.
Yeah.
Because nobody. You get a few young people, but it's mostly people our age that are going to church every day, and you know.
You know, the way I see it is, and I'm not touting any one faith, but when there's 7 billion people in the world and we all think there's something, we may believe it in different ways, then there just might be something to it, you know? So I'm not going to give up on it. And I'm not in church every Sunday by any stretch of the imagination. But at the same time, I think, faith gives you, in some sense, morals, you know?
Right.
And,
In Lowell, one of the pluses is that even though we have, some people call us a sanctuary city, Lowell has a,
We are.
well, we're talking church right now. I think just seeing what I've seen in my lifetime as, let's say, an Uber driver and a taxi driver, I've got about 15 years of that under my belt. Most people that moved into Lowell, they're just different nationalities, obviously, from Brazil, which they load up the church up in my neighborhood.
Oh, yeah.
They load it up. I mean, you can't even get parking spots sometimes. So that's the way we're going to have to, in Lowell, to bring back the
What church is
church.
up in your neighborhood?
St. Louis, that's where I got
The
married.
Holy Family Parish, South
Yeah.
Lowell. Yep.
Yeah.
Father
Well,
Lopes.
yeah,
Loves his job.
it's a small church, but it was always, a lot of people went there. Even
Brazilians jam that every weekend.
Yeah.
And then St. Michael's had a black church for 12, like they picked up and went to St. Michael's in North Andover.
No,
And
I'm
then-
not gonna, like John said, I'm not gonna mention names, but I heard that there's some with the person that runs that church, not a good personality. Is that true, Ned? Do you know the person?
I know a woman that's trying to teach him how to get along with people.
Yeah, that's what I'm hearing, so.
Yeah. You talk to
And
the
I got
same
that,
person I
I
talked
got that from a Persianer. That-
Yeah.
Like at St. Mike's,
to. Yeah.
I like the guy. He's the only priest I know that was married.
Yeah, his wife died, yeah.
He knows real life.
Yeah.
He knows what it's like to be broke, to have a wife.
But I'm hearing he hasn't, the personality's not there with the Persianers. That's what I'm hearing.
That's not my take. I've ridden in the hearse with a guy probably like a dozen times, just me.
But you see it as a business. You're doing it as a business. you
No,
don't-
just chit-chatting.
Oh.
He's a nice guy.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how, he holds back. He rides with you on the cruiser, in the hearse because he knows where he's, but he
Well,
holds back. He
The
doesn't.
guy who runs St. Michael's, they tell me, he's pompous. Okay? The
I
guy
don't think
who,
he's-
the guy who runs Immaculate, you can't understand the guy. And so, I mean, all these little issues, and the church is not in listening mode. They don't want to, don't tell me how to run my business.
what's the church up there off of 113 there in the fields and
St. Francis.
St. Francis,
Do
yeah.
very well there.
Going like, they got Seppi up there, he's a Cadillac of a priest.
Yep.
They love him.
Yeah.
But they also, the deacon they got is that Eric Peabody that does the Window World commercials every day. He's
really?
up there, yeah.
Yeah.
So you see him on TV in the
I
morning
didn't
and then
know
you go
that.
up there and he's like a deacon up there, yeah.
I was up
Eric-
there talking to the guy who does the camera work, and he's got a fantastic system up there to put. He
Hey,
put all his masses on Facebook every Sunday.
Yeah.
The plus for
And they
Lowell,
do that
another-
down at the.
It's the only church I've ever been in that actually had a commercial during mass, where they put up a film and for donations and things like that. It was really something. It was really first time I've ever seen the Catholic Church solicit for anything.
Why we migrate over there, they have a lot of stuff that come out of St. Peter's Church there.
Yeah.
They have a
Yeah.
lot of their
Oh,
statues.
they have all the
a lot of their
stained glass
statues-
windows.
A lot of
Yeah.
their statues came from St. Peter's. A lot of their windows came from
Yeah.
St. Peter's. So
Yeah. From the episode.
But you're stationed across it from St. Peter's, aren't they? Or they're
Right,
outside
I
in your
think
parking
the ones in the
lot?
parking lot, no, they come from the Port Clinton and Andover.
If John looks that up, how many churches there are around the world, America will blow everybody away. We have so many churches. It's crazy. And another number you don't look at is all the bars we used to have. The bars that,
Built them
well,
right next to the church.
no, what happened in Lowell, we probably had 80 or 90 bars going back in the late 70s, early 80s, bar rooms, I call them. And now, a lot of them have turned into nonprofit churches.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So they're
Yeah.
they're smaller and they, less overhead than them big churches that we always had.
I
going
go
on.
down
The churches wasn't part of the, when a town was established in the United States, the first thing that was built was a church in the town. And then
Yeah.
they built that.
Yeah.
And it was always built on the highest point, and then you built around the town. But as far as bar rooms, I mean, I don't think society, I mean, first of all, Mothers Against Drunk Driving ended a bunch of bar rooms, but that being said, the men are different today. Men don't drive home from work and stop for a beer anymore.
Nope.
I mean, they drive directly home.
And they help with the house, something they never did.
So
No, they got beer in the fridge. They have a refrigerator. They have
Yeah.
a color TV. They got air
Cheaper to drink
conditioning.
at home, you know?
All the stuff that would attract to bar rooms yesteryear. Because Ned,
See
in
a
your time, there was no air conditioning. If you wanted to get cooled off, you went down the bar.
Yeah.
'Cause it was you wanted cold beer, you couldn't get it at home. Your refrigerator was a flunky.
Yeah,
And you want to watch a good game on TV, they got a better TV down the bar than you got.
yeah.
Yeah.
And so all those attractions, I mean, now my TV's a 500-inch TV. I got internet. I can watch whatever soccer game I want to watch in Japan, wherever I want to watch soccer games. And I can make it 50 in the house, or I can make it 90 in the house.
And I don't mean to laugh, but my dad owned a
change.
bar for 10 years, okay? I worked in a prison for 20 years. And I seen more violence in 8 years in that bar room, 10 times as much violence as I did at Concord Prison in Massachusetts. A lot of violence, and I still say to this day, alcohol is ahead of drugs as far as problems go.
Oh, it's, alcoholism is
Just
big
a little
thing.
bit though. Drugs are very,
Oh,
they're
yeah.
getting really bad, but alcohol's a bigger issue for me. This is an opinion show. I think booze has caused more
Give me
problems.
one good thing that's surprise baby. Other than the surprise babies, give me one good thing that comes out of alcohol.
I can't. You get a buzz, that's it.
Give me one good thing.
tax revenue for the state.
Well, let's give the government more money. Thank
Yeah.
you, Jeff. That's a good one. How about you, Ned? You were in the business.
Well, we paid more money for licenses, taxes, and everything else.
So let's give the government, other than giving the government more money and surprise babies, got anything else?
Oh, well, one night
I'm sure
stands.
people that met their future spouse in a bar, some places, you
Something
know,
to have, yeah.
right?
Did you?
No?
Anybody here meet their partner?
I
their
know a few
spouse?
people have. I know a few people
I know a
have.
few
Yeah.
in my
And they've
family.
been married a long time. Yeah.
Yeah, the things that affected my life mostly was alcohol and gambling. And I'm just talking about my parents, not myself.
Yeah.
It's
amazing that how much focus now all the states have on booze, gambling, and lottery. Huh? It's just amazing.
they depend
It's
on it.
amazing they just push on it.
I heard
And-
one of
$50
the
ticket.
one of the games is going up to $5 a day,
Yeah.
John. One of these.
Mega Millions.
they got
The one that was
$50
just a billion.
They
Oh,
have
yeah.
$50 scratch tickets
yeah,
now.
yeah.
Now I haven't scratched 5 tickets in my whole entire life, and that's the truth.
My
Yeah,
wife,
some
my
people
wife
like
loves
that.
it.
But I do like beer, and I will play the lottery when it's $1 billion. So, but I'm
Yeah.
not a prude. But but at the
Yeah,
same
one-
time, I couldn't imagine, handing over $50 at a whack to play a scratch ticket. I couldn't imagine what that does to the pocketbook.
We
You
gave
know?
them for Christmas presents this year. I bought $300 worth. It's just easy. The mailman, this one, and nobody's come back to me yet. I said to my mailman, "I see you're still working." He said, "Yep." He says, "I won something, but he didn't. It wasn't a lot." But yeah, you don't hear the big ones usually, So
I'll tell you one funny story about the lottery. About 10 years ago, a friend of mine was having a 50th birthday, so his wife invites all his friends, and so of course the word, what can we bring? Oh, nothing. How about gifts? No, Paul doesn't need anything, nothing. No gifts, no nothing. All right, great. We get there, and there's probably 50, 60 people there, and there's 10 of us who are some of his closest friends, and we walk in and we see nothing but a pile of presents. We didn't bring anything. So we all feel terrible about it. So the 10 of us get together with our spouses and we say, listen, let's all pitch in like $20 a piece. Let's run down to the liquor store, get the guy a handful of lottery tickets. So here he is. He sits there. He scratches the first one, $10,000.
Oh,
We bought the best present. We bought the best present.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And
we had a
good
local
friends
person.
should.
Yeah, are we good friends or what?
Yeah,
Right.
you're right.
And he's the one friend that doesn't, he's the last one that needs $10,000.
I don't think you should pay taxes on that 10 grand, but the government, give us half.
Oh, listen,
right.
I don't think we should be paying taxes on Social Security. That's what I That's what I believe.
Ned, who was
You
the
know?
person locally
You're right.
10 years ago that won big, I don't want to say the name, but he was like.
I see her all the time.
She won big time, yeah.
350 million.
Jerry
Yeah.
Williams.
Well, yeah. She doesn't like to mention names.
Oh, she does that.
That's her name.
She used to clean
Yeah,
houses.
she was Jimmy Williams' ex-wife.
Yep.
Yeah,
And
former
she,
police officer. Great guy.
nice
Yeah,
gal.
yeah. My cousin Pat, who just passed away, they were friends. She used to clean. Across the street lived Evelyn Hyde. She was a school teacher, and she was the principal of the 10th Street School. And she cleaned her house. You know, they lived out on. This is before she married Jimmy. They lived out in Dracut, right over the line,
Oh, yeah?
where the house is out at the dump, and then that little brown. That's where she lived. She was a great woman, Ginny. You know, and she took all her friends on buses, not telling them where they're going. You know. She played cards on Monday night. She always brought a big thing of shrimp for them. They loved it. They couldn't wait.
The story I heard was, I believe it might have been the person she was dating or something, and she says, I'll buy you a house. What house you want? And there was a house supposedly up on Andover Street he wanted. And they knocked on the person's door and said, what's your price? And the guy said, whatever you want, we'll pay for the house. The guy went, and I don't know if this deal went through or not.
I'll tell you the
That's a
story.
great story.
She
Everything's
told
for
me a
sale,
story
right?
one day that she bought a
We're
house.
going
on
to break in
Seabrook
20
Street.
seconds.
She said that I never went
Oh,
to it.
break
Never
time.
went to it. Break time. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Yeah.
Happy New Year. Good morning and welcome to City Life. With me today is my nephew Jeff, Tom Bomil from Dracut with all Dracut news. He's got some news for Dracut, and Bob Hoey, future candidate for school committee in the city of Lowell. We're promoting him, so we'll see what happens. Tom, what do you got going with your new town manager?
Well, before we start, I see we have the menorah out here, and I want to wish all
Yeah.
to all my Jewish friends and everything. I believe it's the 6th night of Hanukkah tonight, and I hope they're having a good 8 nights. Is it 8 nights of Hanukkah, right? And
8 crazy nights.
yeah. So we have a new town manager that's going to be starting in Dracut on January the 13th. She lives in Stowe, Mass. She's the town administrator in Lancaster now. She's coming to us at $220,000 a year. She doesn't want the car, I was told, so which means she's going to get a stipend for it. I just don't, everybody's different. I don't know why you wouldn't want the car. It's maintenance and all that stuff. It's free. I mean, it's free gas, free maintenance. So, but she didn't want it. So we'll see what happens with her. She's going to come into
Does she get a police, was it a police car?
she doesn't, nothing. She doesn't want
No,
a car.
but I mean, former manager of vehicles, was it a, see, in Lowell, it's a police car, you get a police car. Get
Yeah,
blue
she gets
lights.
the blue plate. She gets the blue plate.
Blue
Yeah.
plate,
But she's
blue-
not getting, she didn't want that. She didn't want that. So we'll see in Drake's political climate how long the girl lasts, because I was part of the screening committee and we interviewed her. She's a very nice girl. She came to me as a little timid, but we'll see what happens. She could be, a dynamo too, who knows, so that's what's going on in Drake right now. We'll have, I'm just reading the papers come out in Drake for selectmen and school committee and housing authority on February the 2nd or 3rd, something along that line. So the election seasons will getting in the towns will start perking up in Chelmsford, I'm sure, too, and Billerica, all the surrounding towns. So that's all I have for Drake right now.
Are you on the housing authority in Drake?
Yeah, I'm up. I'm actually up for re-election this year, and I'm leaning towards not running. So I haven't made a final decision yet, but
How many boards can you be on?
that's true. That's why I'm cutting back. I am.
Well, you're on Bob Cox's board now,
Yep,
right?
I'm on the Bridge Club. I'm on the LRTA. I'm on the Salvation Army and the Housing Authority. So I'm thinking of giving up Housing Authority and
You sound like
Salvation Army.
Freddie Simon.
Yeah. But I enjoy all of them.
But that's good, that you should help
busy.
people.
Yeah.
Keep busy.
Yeah.
That's what I learned when I retired. If you're going to retire, make sure you got something to do.
Yeah.
I know people they retired and sat at their kitchen table and drank beer, and now they're dead.
Well, my brother
Yeah.
Billy retired, and he retired on a Friday, and he's working that next Monday. I mean, I haven't worked. I'm involved in boards and everything. I never worked since I retired.
Yeah.
I didn't have a job, and I worked all my life, so I figured I'd volunteer.
I couldn't wait to go to work.
Yeah.
But I mean, I worked for a consulting firm for a year after.
I did that too for about a year, and
Yeah.
then that didn't.
They don't
it
need-
thought they
Once you
didn't
get
work
them
out.
work, they don't need you anymore.
Yeah. So it was a pretty good gig,
Yeah,
So.
but we went over things in Lowell. We'll start here, because now we're in Lowell, we're on,
Well, I tell you the three rumors I heard. One rumor was that the city manager is going to get a 3-year contract extension. I heard that, and I'm in Drake. I live in Drake, so I know. And you know how the rumor mills go. And I heard that.
I had heard that, you
Dave
gotta make sure
Conway's
you
not
got
gonna-
6 votes or you don't get anywhere. Make
Yeah.
sure you got the 6 votes before.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he'll.
Yeah.
And I heard Dave Conway's not running for re-election, and there's talk that Rita's not going to run for re-election. But
Now,
those are rumors.
Reed's gonna run.
No.
Is Bobby Hoey gonna run? Do we know yet, Tom?
I'll tell you in another week or so. I'm just happy Danielle McFadden, I never met her in my life. My sister knows her. My sister that works for Project Compass, that just bought that piece of property next to Hafner's down here
Oh,
on
really?
Appleton Street, yeah. Project Compass just bought that, and some great things are happening all around the South Common.
That was a great guest we had on. We had that.
What
was
do they-
Dave
what do they
Aldrich.
do?
Was that
Yeah,
his name?
Dave,
Yeah.
he's the person, with the money.
Yeah.
And they've bought 3 properties so far in Lowell, one up in.
And what are they going to do?
The 2 places that they bought prior to this place was for 18 to 24-year-old girls, Jeff, with babies or whatever, and have no place to live. They take them in,
Good.
teach them how to save and work, and
Good.
get them back out. They've done very well so far, and this building that they bought next to Hafner's on Appleton Street, it was a place before, if you remember, the homeless could go shower.
Yeah.
They could do
They
things
got
like that.
their needles.
Yeah, this is gonna be totally different than that. This is gonna be a place for anybody that needs mental health issues. They're gonna have the staff to come in and give them some direction. That's basically what I get from what they're gonna do with this place. It's not gonna be a place, it's opening up more bed space for them in their other 2 buildings, because these offices that they have are now gonna be on Appleton Street. So those offices that they had in those 2 houses are now gonna be rooms for 18 to 24-year-old
Yeah, I
females.
met your sister.
So they
and,
clean it up
uh,
Appleton Street.
Oh, the city has done a really good job with the
South
South
Common
Common.
is
We still have an issue up at the church, but that's where they feed
Still
them.
that going on?
Yeah, there's some
I thought it
issues
was
there.
closing.
No, I go down, I try to make it to the Owl Diner once a week because I love that place, I really do. There's something about their ham that attracts me
Oh, I
to that
know, right?
place. But, no, there's still congregating around the
Well, I heard
church.
they were I heard the kitchen was closing, but that was 6 months ago. It's still open. What do they call it? The St. Paul's kitchen, or I forget what they call the kitchen up there.
Right, but the South Common, you have to see it to believe it. They've really cleared that
Cleaned it.
out. I forget who, it was Eric Itcher again that put in a motion to make sure there's no tents up near a school, 1,000 feet, which, that's 3 football fields. I think we're doing pretty good right now. And that's.
Where are they putting them? Where are they housing them? Or are they just
Where
moving
are
them?
they going is another question, Jeff. They move around. There's all kinds of
Yeah.
places, under bridges, up off the
Yeah.
river.
And you want to read this text on the bottom there?
Good morning. I couldn't wait for Joe Biden to retire. I hope he doesn't want to go back to our guesswork. Jay.
I guess.
I don't care what that means.
Yeah, well, Lowell has a few good things going for it right now, but the real thing that Lowell has to do, there's no doubt, it's a gateway for drugs. It's Lawrence and Lowell. It's almost, the drugs come into Lawrence sends them up to Maine, and they come to Lowell very easily, very
Yeah,
easily.
but here's what happens now.
But if you remember back, and I know, Ned, you've been around a while, there was a time that they kind of feared coming to Lowell because the police department was on top of getting drug dealers, not the guys that are in a tent that do drugs. That's not who we should be after. Get the drug dealers. And it's pretty easy because they'll rat each other out. You just got to put the focus like you just did for the South Common. And this city council has to put a focus on it. We want to stop drugs in Lowell. It's bigger than, I know it's mental health. It's all mental health anyways. I don't care if you're an alcoholic, a drug addict, whatever you are. You could be divorced and be on the streets because you can't afford a house. All kinds of reasons. But drugs are the real reason in Lowell. There's no doubt in my mind.
Drugs
It's a big issue. And if you can get people saying, oh, don't watch out for Lowell. You know, it's like us driving through Dunstable or Westford. What do you do when you drive through Dunstable? You go right down to 25 miles an hour. I've never been pulled over there either, and I normally don't look at my speed. I'm always going over the speed limit. I try to focus on it, but I don't.
You know, I guess when you talk about the speed limit, used to catch myself on 495 hitting 80. I said, man, I had to slow down, you know. But the other cars behind me are passing me then, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I wanted to say to you, Ned, earlier about why don't anybody talk about the unenrolled people like myself? Don't they think that was the big issue in this election?
The unenrolled?
Yeah, we changed.
Yeah.
They turned right for the Republicans. And that's why Trump won it. It's because of us. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's
He won
everybody-
because the black men went from 20% to 60%.
And then, TikTok, you got the young group. Listen,
Yeah, they
the
went
groups
too.
that vote are sitting right here.
That's right.
This age group right here. All of us vote. That's who
And I
votes.
think it was, I think I talk to Ned about it all the time, and in our house, he's got CNN on, and I have Fox on. So we go back and forth. We see who could have the TV on the loudest. But truthfully, I think the Democrats do have very good points sometimes, but their message just doesn't resonate with people who are actually out there, the middle class, and what our real struggles are. And, it can start with, taxes, the cost of groceries, the cost of anything. I mean, I'd like to replace my pickup truck right now. It's $84,000 to replace the damn thing, so I'm not buying a new truck anytime soon. Housing prices, they're just out of control. And I'm not saying this new administration is going to bring those prices down. Generally, things don't come down, but God, they have to stave off the how quickly this stuff is growing. I mean, to think that a starter home is $500,000, $600,000, $700 now just blows my mind. I couldn't imagine. I don't know where the money's coming from.
The average in Mass, I think, is 700,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Ned,
mean,
you want to read this one, please?
Just because they're not on the common doesn't mean they're all of a sudden.
Facilities?
Facilities. The homes are still out there, just not on the common.
And not near schools. That's where I was at. Don't be near a school. Be railroad tracks. I live right behind railroad tracks. There's people homeless on the railroad tracks.
Well, let me remind our texter that they don't want to help.
That's
They don't
right.
want to help.
Many don't want to
And-
help.
And they don't want involvement with the cops. And I tell city councilors, what do you want us to do about it? You just have to give them a little bit of trouble and they go away.
right.
If you want to get rid of the beggars at the bottom of the connector, all you got to do, as soon as they step onto the highway with 1 foot, you pull them aside, okay, you got some ID? What's going on with you? Why are you standing in the highway here? It's illegal. You got to move from here. As soon as you start to hassle them a little bit, like downtown Lowell is the jaywalking capital of the world.
Oh,
You can
my
cross the
God,
street
yeah.
wherever you want. It
They
just
don't
needs
even look.
a little bit of enforcement. And so, and the cops take direction from our city manager. The cops were told to herd the homeless to the South Common for years. And the city council goes, we don't know why they're going there for the services. They went there because the cops told them to.
They
Under
were
the
told
direction
to go there.
under the direction of the manager.
That's right, and you know who the manager was.
You know, only 4 took some help recently. You know, the one off Dutton Street over near Dunkin' Donuts, we just went through a big cleanup over there. 4 of them did accept help. See, so say you got 20 of them out there living in tents, 20 different tents, and 4 of those tents take the help that was offered to them.
Well, but remember,
It's a plus, John.
Danny Rourke came here.
No, I know that.
He comes here a lot, okay? The mayor comes here a lot. He had a freaking school bus sitting there on the South Corner. Hey, look, you get on that bus, we'll get you new clothes, we'll help you out, we'll get you a place to live. It's the yellow brick road, if you get on that bus. No one would get on the bus.
They don't want to leave Lowell.
You want to get your dope, you need your dope. It's cheap. Fentanyl at one time was $20 a pill, now you can get it for $1.
Wow.
It's terrible. And you got to crack down on it. Oh yeah, well the courts won't do this and the courts won't do that. Doesn't matter. Crack down, send them into the courts. You know, they'll give you a free lawyer if you can't afford one. You know, I remember you a few times, DUI. I remember John McDonough saying this on this show, that if you get caught drunk driving, let's say for the second time, because everybody deserves one break, if you get caught, just crush the car. Crush the car, put it back in the guy's driveway.
Too.
Well,
That's the end of it. If I crushed the car, but it wasn't my car, too bad. You shouldn't lend your car to a drunk. I mean, you'll learn a lesson real quick. You can't have the car, Dad, because they're going to crush the car.
you know, I don't drink at all. And I'll tell you, in my life, I did drink a little bit here and there, and I drove home drunk. Who hasn't driven drunk that drinks alcohol? I think we all,
Well, I think you talk yourself into saying I'm okay.
no,
Okay.
when you work in a prison for 20 years and you see some people in there and you ask them, you know, over the years, what would make you want to do 20 years in this place? Most of it was from divorced families. That's what I picked up on.
Yeah.
And number 2, the thing they started on was cigarettes and alcohol.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
can
you talk
remember,
about-
I'd wake up Monday, Saturday morning and crawl to the window to make sure my car was out front. But those are the good days, you know.
I can remember people would call my father and say, you know, did I leave my car over your place? So, Ned, you got this one?
The amount of money and time spent on people who put your words don't want the help. They blank them, which is true. You talk to people and they're right over their heads. Plus, they want to stay in Lowell. Lowell's a good city, but I'm going to tell you something. You go up to Manchester, there's all kinds of restaurants, theaters,
You want a water, Jeff?
No, I'm good, thank you, sorry.
and that's all of them. And Lawrence is getting ahead of Lowell on that stuff now, too. Even Lawrence is getting better, but up from Manchester, Haverhill, you know,
The
Lowell.
EBT card created this whole mess. Yesteryear, if you didn't have an address, you didn't get a welfare check.
Yeah.
And now, once the plastic card came out, the card is like a debit card. It gets replenished every week, with some people every week. Most people, it's once or twice a month.
Most of the time, and then they have to have their check sent by the government. They send it to the store in 7-Eleven there on Appleton Street, and you see them lining up at 1 o'clock to get their checks. And if you're a line 40, 50 long, you know?
Yeah. I looked at it this way. Some people are addicted to crack cocaine, right? I'm addicted to sugar.
And you were.
Serious.
Do you were a
Listen,
monitor?
No.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, for what, diabetes?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course I do. But I'm just saying it's almost, for me, I think it's impossible to stay off sugar. It's hard. Maybe as hard as crack, I don't know. I never did crack, I don't know.
Well, I think if you just make things difficult for people, and I don't mean just, you know, not caring about them, but if you make it difficult and remind yourself that what's going on is a crime out there, you know, then, you know, you're never going to fix it, because right now it's just okay for them to be there. And, you know, I think he can really solve a lot of problems by, going out on the streets, finding out everybody's story, find out the people that are running from the law, and arrest them. Find out the people that are running from child support and arrest them, and then find out from the people that are, just in a bad situation and they're legitimately homeless. Then help them find homes and housing. But at some point, it just can't grow like it's growing. It's ridiculous, the amount of people, and it's not just Lowell. It's every
Right.
town. It affects every town in America now.
Oh, yeah.
And,
I want to interrupt when Ned was talking about Manchester. Manchester has major issues. Downtown Manchester, all over the place. It's not perfect.
Every
It's not
city
He
perfect.
does. And in full disclosure, my son died of a heroin overdose, a fentanyl overdose. So
Wow.
I'm 32 years old. So full disclosure, I understand the problem. And he was a good kid, with an addiction. And he wasn't homeless, but yeah, we lost him. So very sad. And
My 5 grandchildren right now have to listen and watch a trial go on in Nashua because their aunt got shot coming out of a lounge.
Wow.
Yeah, one to the head, one to the chest, and he killed the guy with her.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, and they'll cry up there that
That was
it's
your
meant to-
family? That was your
Oh,
family?
yeah, well, my grandchildren's aunt.
I
you
see,
know,
yeah. Wow.
On that side, yeah.
Interesting.
But she got murdered
There was
2
a
years
murder in
ago.
Lowell last night. Is that what we were just talking about,
Yes,
John,
exactly.
earlier? There was a murder in Lowell last night.
Where?
Up in the house.
Maud Street.
What
Maud-
street?
Maud, it's up near off Branch Street, I believe, that area.
Same area, yeah.
But, I mean, you hear it, like I said, I ring the bell for, like I say, we talk about the Salvation Army and everything, and I'll tell you a funny story. I was ringing the bell last week, and this lady came out, and she's one of my regulars, as always, and she threw something, she gave me a $25 Market Basket gift card. She says, "This is for you for doing all you did." I gave it back to the Army because, that's, but I never, that first time anything like that happened, she says, "For all you do, you deserve something." She gave me a gift card to, the grocery cards for Market Basket.
Those are the best.
Yeah.
There's nothing like free food, right?
So, but, we hear it down at the Salvation Army, the same thing. They don't want the help. They'll go to them and say, they don't want any help. They just want to be on their own. They like living home. They want to be homeless. They don't want to go into a shelter. They're afraid of shelters. And some of them I'm hearing can be scary, the shelters, And you guys, is your Manchester, is that where you're from, Jeff? You have a shelter?
Yeah, but there's shelters everywhere.
You find the homeless situation? up
The
there bad,
homeless
too?
situation is bad everywhere.
Yeah.
I mean, I spent time in Brockton, spent time in Lowell. My family's
Yeah.
from Lowell and Drake.
Yeah.
Up in Manchester currently, but it's everywhere.
Sure.
It's just everywhere.
And
it's
growing.
hitting-
And growing.
And growing. You just can't hold a blind eye to it. It needs to be fixed, and we can fix it. And we can fix it. And I think just starting with this administration coming in, just by building a wall, I think I'm not saying you'll eliminate all drugs coming into the country, but you'll slow it down. And I think that's an important step.
Yeah, it
so,
is.
cut off the supply, But then again, they will just get addicted to something else, so.
They'll actually move away. If they can't find drugs in Lowell, they'll move the lines. They
yeah.
just bounce back and forth.
I think of drugs like a bird feeder. If there's food in the bird feeder, the birds will come. No food in the bird feeder, and all those beautiful birds you had the day before are gone.
I look through a different set of eyes because I worked with people incarcerated for 20 years, and I see what can happen when we lock them up. For instance, they'll come in the door, you think they're going to die within 24 hours. That's how bad they look.
Hey, I'm going to grab the mic for a second here on
Yeah.
some announcements, okay? The murder we're talking about, I just got this text from a reliable person. They don't want their name used. There was no murder in Lowell. The person was dropped out of a car on Middlesex Street with gunshot wounds. So that's the story behind the story. That's the murder we're talking about, Tommy.
Yeah.
And then Lowell has a park that glorifies a homeless poet.
Jack Kerouac.
And welfare back in the day was butter and cheese.
Exactly, and peanut butter, yeah.
The Lowell Senior Center. You want to have a dandy lunch today for $2. If you don't have the $2, we'll give it to you for free. Lowell Senior Center has lunch every day of the week, except this week. So today they have chicken and mashed potatoes. Get up there around 10:30, fork over your $2, or just tell Tara you don't have the money and she'll give you a ticket when the where the reception desk is and talk to Tara. And then, so you're gonna have fried chicken, mashed potatoes today. Tomorrow, the senior center is closed. It'll be back open on Thursday and Friday. However, this weekend, the senior center is closed for maintenance. So they're gonna do a handy dandy polishing of all the floors in the building. So this weekend, the senior center is closed. So everybody who goes over there, sorry, you gotta find lunch someplace else on Saturday and Sunday. Back to you guys, thanks.
You know, so when I was talking about people that are incarcerated, when they come in, you would think they're gonna die. And you wouldn't believe how fast the human body can come back in about 90 days. Tip-top shape. After 90 days, you wouldn't think you're looking at the same person. Then they hit the streets and it happens to again. They need about a year. That's what they need. They need and then you need insurance. Because there's cities all around us, like Quincy, great place to be dried out if you have insurance. You can go into one of those dry houses, and if a judge puts an ankle bracelet on you and says you can't leave that house, after a year, I believe you could almost beat anything. But don't forget, you got fentanyl, you got methamphetamines now, and this is zombie world type of drugs, those two drugs. You know, so we're up against a major battle. But, you know, how about 2000, I'll get Ned this time, in 28, the next election, Maura Healey, or
Running for president.
yeah, how about the governor from California? Is that all you guys can put up there?
No, absolutely.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely
Both parties
No.
got to come up with a moderate person, to get not extreme conservatism, not extreme liberals. Ned, do you believe it? I mean,
Democrats have a machine, the Republicans
and
don't.
Maura Healey's a liberal.
Do you feel like if the Republicans pull off everything they're talking about right now, right, do you think anybody's going to beat the next Republican? I doubt it.
Massachusetts, yep.
Oh, in
No, we're talking
Massachusetts,
about
we're not even
preservation.
counting Massachusetts.
You can't
Yeah,
be,
you'll never-
you
you'll never
just
see-
can't be as extreme as it is today. They're
And New
just-
Hampshire too. Did New Hampshire go for Trump?
No, but
See?
you know,
Yeah.
the thing with New Hampshire though is that the population growth is basically transports from Massachusetts.
Of course.
So many people are coming out of Massachusetts. I mean, it's a less expensive option. It's a nice place to be. But so most are Massachusetts transplants. The problem we run into up in New Hampshire is as quickly as we're flushing our toilets into our backyard and pumping water out of our front yard and bringing our trash to the dump, those same people, after escaping this, show up in town, and they're showing up to town meetings. They want trash pickup, they want city water, so, you know, they're asking for the same things. But no, they, it's always a close election, and no, we didn't vote for Trump up there. But
Give a Republican governor coming.
yeah, but we do pick a Republican governor quite often, so a balance of power is kind of nice.
Yeah.
I don't have the numbers in front of me, but I'll bet you Trump's numbers in Massachusetts have grown.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, they grew in every state. Every
Yeah.
state, his numbers grew. As a matter of fact, he won a bunch of counties in California as well. You know, so I just don't believe in extreme politics on any side. On any
just
side,
wanted
you
change.
know,
It was a year of change here.
and so I just think they tout the wrong things, just the things that people aren't really interested in. You know.
Just think if all the money that went to Ukraine, newcomers went to help out our problems instead of inheriting their problems. Jay, I don't know about Ukraine. It's if we give up on Ukraine, we might as well decide that the United States is going to send soldiers over there for NATO. You know, we're part of NATO. They've got to come up with soldiers. That's anybody. You know, that's now you got Switzerland and Sweden and Finland. They're in NATO now, so. Russia's completely circled, you know, but that doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, but you got to think of the mass casualties. It's
yeah.
it's a you know we're at this point, you know, what are you fighting for? I mean,
Just to kill people.
Just to kill people. It's just at some point you have to just throw your hands up and just you just have to. You're destroying an entire population.
That's what they're
you know,
doing.
and. You know, if it was happening here, and you know, if we were being attacked, I mean, I think, you know, I'd want it to end quickly as well. I mean, I
Another one
would.
that
The state needs to renovate the old buildings at Tewksbury State Hospital. A lot of the homeless are mental and do not know what's best for them. I agree, there's a bunch of empty buildings at the Tewksbury State Hospital. But they also have a program out there, but it's one of them, I remember a guy saying to me, I'm going to go out and wash and dry. In other words, go out and get cleaned out for 4 days and leave.
See, I think the solution with the mentally ill is you dump it in Tufts. Give it to Tufts. Tell them to take the St. John's Hospital Nursing School on Suffolk Street. Convert that building, put the mentally ill in that. And we need professionals. We don't need Tommy Golden hiring his friends to manage the homeless, okay?
Yeah, true.
It's not going to work. And Maura Healy hiring her friends to manage the homeless. It's not. We tried it. It doesn't work. Government is not here to help. They're not. We need to tell Tufts, look at Tufts, we'll pay for it. They're all on Mass Health. And have some professionals help these mentally ill have a better life. I'm done.
And you meant the nurses' home in the back, East Stackpole Street, is that what you're talking about?
Stackpole, yeah.
Yeah. Well, isn't that loaded with,
It's loaded with bathrooms,
Yeah.
showers.
what is this stuff that, it's loaded with, it'll come to me.
Elderly
That's what the
people?
problem is, nobody can take it out, they got to rip all the stuff out of the walls and,
Let's do it.
right? I don't disagree with
I mean,
it.
dumping the mentally ill out to Tewksbury State Hospital and having Martha Healy's buddies take care of it. Okay, I mean, there were a lot of nice people who work at Tewksbury Hospital, not faulting any of them.
A lot of nice, I know.
But Ned, if I offer you, okay, Ned, do you know anything about roofing? I got a $150,000 a year job about roofing. Would you take it?
No.
I would. I'll learn.
Where's the $150,000 a year?
The governor gives out jobs like that.
To do a roof?
To run
That's Bobby Hoey.
What do you know about handling a mentally ill person,
I
Ned?
don't?
I'll give you $150,000 to run
I'll
the
learn.
facility. Exactly. I don't want someone who's going to learn. I want a professional who's going to help these people. Stop wasting my money hiring your friends. And the state and the city does that.
Yep. You wouldn't
I
want,
agree.
you wouldn't want the airlines to hire you, buddy, right? To fly your family around, right? Or you wouldn't want the surgeon at the hospital to
Good
be
angle.
hired by their, their good friend,
Good angle.
so.
So enough negativity. What positive things do you guys see for 2025?
Let's go through there. Let's go. What's your New Year's resolution, Bob?
I would say to eat more sugar.
What's yours, Tom?
I don't know. I try to be good every day. I try to help my fellow man out. It might sound corny. I try to, what's he saying? Find good in people where I used to be negative a lot. I've changed my ways on that stuff. So, that's really, I'm trying to be a good person, a better person,
Jeff, what are you up to?
I like what he said. Be a better person. Just be a better person. We all have spare time every day, and we should put it to good use. All of us.
I agree. Help somebody.
Ned, what are you doing?
I'm just gonna hope I live another year.
Exist.
Exist. But I mean, I enjoy. I like what Bobby Cox is doing. Saves lives. And there's people like that out there, but there ain't many. But you can't go down to Mass Cash and send them over the load, give them a ticket on the train.
We've been
Come to
ignoring
work.
this whole homeless
it's just-
issue for generations. It's not working, and it's never going to work. I got to read this text while Ned's busy on his phone over there. John, have a happy new year. Thanks for getting up every day and putting on a great show. Oh, you're welcome.
We didn't hear
it's-
John's
it's my-
resolution.
Hey,
What's
I'm
your
going back to church. Going back to church.
I thought you went every week.
I thought you went every week.
No.
Oh, wow.
I always see.
Going back to church, holy days, everything.
Wow.
Good deal.
And you're going to be kinder to the city manager, right?
The city manager has yet to prove to me that he should have, the fact that you guys are talking to give this clown another 3 years. Mr.
See,
Incompetence.
we have to watch what we say, but he can call a guy a clown.
Just ask all the city councilors, raise your hand if you have not gotten a job for one of your relatives over this term in
Let's
office.
take turns.
I think in politics, there's got to be some hardliners that now want real change. You need people that want real change, just to come in and be just politically correct with the people. This is just the way we've always done it. You have to have new ideas. You have to have a new approach on things, and that's my struggle with local politics.
I always
We have to do a study. We gotta do a study.
No, there's no more
Democrats
studies. No more
famous
studies. Study in your car. Drive around the neighborhoods. You can identify. Every one of us can identify a problem in a neighborhood. And the problem in this neighborhood is different than the problem, down the street. So
As far as hiring friends, I always say, as long as a person's qualified for a
That's right,
position.
you hire them.
But I've seen some things in the last 90 days or so, of people getting jobs and saying, what the heck? And I'm not mentioning names, but yeah.
I'll tell you this. Not to bring UPS up again, but up until 10 years ago, there was no nepotism at UPS. So if your dad worked there, his son couldn't work there.
Oh, really?
There was no nepotism. 460,000 employees. Think about that.
Wow.
No nepotism. Now, of course, you could have, you could work in Massachusetts, and then you just had some relative that lived in California who got the job themselves. But as far as two people in the same building, a son and father, or a mother-daughter, absolutely not. Didn't
Okay,
happen.
they could work for them, but they'd have to be in separate, let's say if there was a Massachusetts.
There was just no nepotism, period. Just no nepotism. I mean, there was immediate family, right? But there was no way you were going to get, just because you had been there, you could get your son in.
Well,
And it worked.
I'm the king of nepotism, okay? And I'm happy to hire somebody who is related to me or related to one of my colleagues.
Well, you'd have to change the sign outside if you did that, right?
It works good. And the fire department does it, the police department does it, the
Yeah.
DPW does it, and it's just not happening so much nowadays.
The fire department has a history of the whole family going to work in the fire
So does the
department.
police department. Look at Blue Bloods. That's across the whole country. People want to be a cop because their dad was a cop.
Can't find you to be cops anymore. They don't.
It's sad. Ned, you want to read this one?
The reason he's a city manager is because he's politically connected.
Well,
How
so-
true. That's true.
So with the last three city managers.
Yeah.
Yes and no. And like John says,
Goes back to Joe Tully.
one of John's famous lines is if Tommy Golden got a call from President Trump tomorrow saying, I want you to be this or that in my administration, who would be the next city manager, do you guys think, in Lowell?
Vanna Howard.
No, she's got enough votes.
Vanna
do you think?
Howard.
All she'd get is President Noon and the guy that's here. Who else?
Well, I don't think Rodney would take it.
No.
It would be a
throw a
political,
name out
You
there.
don't
political
think, you don't
person.
think,
You think it
Zach Getchia.
oh, come on.
Too young.
I think, what about one of his assistants, Baldwin, a very
Ron
qualified.
doesn't want the job. He turned it down every time. He's been on.
Well,
So you're-
eventually, he could change his mind. Looking for his,
Making $185,000 a year now.
I think he's making more than that. I think,
Exactly, 185.
but he wants his high 3 years, Ned. He's got to be. I'm thinking, what's
Tommy, you gotta look at the mic.
is he close to 50?
Is he? I don't know. His kids are young.
You know, nepotism we talk about, I got hired in the prison because of my uncle, no doubt about it. Back in them days, I was 1979, 1980. Yeah, there was a ton of nepotism,
You
without a
think
doubt.
we'll ever bring a professional manager back to Lowell?
What for? To screw up the whole budget? Like
Yeah,
he did the
a
last
professional
one there?
manager like Lynch was.
Like he's, right now,
see,
we're still paying
what Golden-
some of the
what
people
Golden-
he let go.
If Golden hired an assistant manager that was a professional, he'd be a lot better in my book. But right now, with
I didn't
with
call
the
him
hiring of his friends, I just don't go with that. Sorry, I hired
You
my
really
friends.
believe that Bernie Lynch was the best for the city of Lowell?
No,
No.
but he was better than the present manager.
That's your opinion.
Yes,
What
it
do you
is.
think, John? What do you think is a professional city manager? I mean, Dennis Peendeck, he was when they hired him.
Somebody who can understand and process the budget. And our city councilors cannot understand
They
the
don't
budget.
read it.
Okay, so we,
They can read it, but they can't
so right there,
understand.
John, bingo. I say Baldwin, and he's a whiz when it comes
He
to
puts
finances.
it together.
He's a whiz.
Yeah, I agree.
I was
Baldwin's great.
hoping he would have applied for the job in Drake, but he didn't.
It's a 3-year, well, Drake is a circus, man. When it comes to, I mean, I'm sorry, I love the people out there. I love
Absolutely, I
the town of
agree with you.
Drake.
This girl-
Politics, it's a circus out there.
This girl, if the handicap's already out there, give her 3 years maybe, because of the political circus out there. And so I hope I'm wrong, but it's a
And
circus.
meanwhile,
And that's one of the reasons why.
Tewksbury, the land of Oz, continues to be the land of Oz. Oh, we can't get a manager. Bam.
They
had a
hired a guy that was fired from Borica. They didn't really do anything great out there.
But you come in to get your last 3 years, right, for your pension. We all know what pensions are, right?
Yeah.
You come in, it's $250,000. Pretty nice, 80%
Can't
of
do it
that. huh?
over $200,000 anymore.
How about our friend Marty Meehan? What do you think his pensions are gonna be like?
Oh,
He
He's
gets,
already collected
hey,
it.
listen, he gets 2 of them.
Jesus Christ.
What's that?
He's Brian
now
Martin.
Ned, I lost my train of thought. Go ahead.
You know, I love to stay right here in Lowell, South Common, okay? Bishop Markham, now you're on a housing authority. You think over the years there was any, not nepotism, but you think people could get their buddies fixed up with a place inside the housing?
Of course.
Without a doubt.
Yeah.
Not anymore, but yes.
Not anymore,
Yeah,
but that's
yeah,
Bishop
absolutely.
Markham, okay, at one
I
time.
see some people that are in the housing in Drake, and I'm saying, how in God's name do they get into the housing? Because I know their financial
I
background.
love this one. Ned, read this one.
The Secret House would decide who the next city manager is.
That's true.
Yeah.
The Speaker of the House.
The word from Boston come down the road and we have to do this. And that's exactly what's happened.
Eddie Kennedy's the next manager.
No, I don't
Christ.
believe it.
He
Like,
actually applied once, you know that, right? You guys remember that?
Yeah.
He applied for the manager's job.
I'll throw her,
How old is that
I
Kathy
threw
now?
Zach
Oh, Eddie's
Gitch's
like
name
my
out because
age,
he's a
like
math teacher at
early
the,
70s.
I threw Zach Gitch's name
There's no way
out.
down
Only
the other way, John.
city manager wise, Eric Gitcher would be an awesome city manager. You think he wants it? No.
No, not
No,
yet.
he loves the job
Not
he
yet.
has.
No.
But he'd be an awesome city
You
manager.
never say
takes
never,
your phone
neither.
call.
So-
Oh, you never
yeah,
say never,
yeah,
never.
yeah.
But
And why am I going blank on Baldwin's first name?
Connor.
Connor Baldwin, yeah. And I've met the man twice. I hear he's got a great personality, he's got a great demeanor, he treats everybody equally, so I don't know.
and he does what his boss tells him to do.
Yeah.
That's like
But he's
people
on-
after Jim Hall.
He's on his third
Why-
manager, right?
Why do people not like Jim Hall on the school side? You know why? He does what his boss tells him to do. Drives me crazy to think about that. A guy does what his boss wants him to do, and people want to get rid of him.
They're not gonna
It's
get rid of
awesome.
them,
No, they're
no,
not going to
no.
get rid of him. They're not. And Danielle,
Could he ever have the big job?
oh, he could be
He could have been the
a,
last one if he wanted.
he could be a superintendent anywhere in the country. I believe that's how good I think he is. But he's
certified?
perfect.
Is he certified? You
He's
have to be
got-
certified for that, right?
Yeah, he's certified. He's certified in a lot of
So
ways.
is Eileen Del Rossi.
But what I like, I'm Army anyways, pro-Army, you know, and that's why I love Jim Hall.
Oh, yeah.
He's a colonel in the U.S. Army, has his own post in New York.
Great guy. His dad's a great guy. He was a great guy.
I never
Yeah.
met his dad.
Oh, great
Oh,
guy.
his
Jimmy.
father.
Well,
Jimmy.
okay, guys, let's just say we have a city manager with no contract.
They've
You
done
push
that.
excellence out the door, or you're gone.
Well, right?
Dennis Peendak, 27 years, never had a contract.
There you go, pushing excellence out the door.
No.
They never used to get one. Who was the first guy to get a?
I think it was Lynch.
No, before.
No, they hadn't.
Brian
Before Lynch?
Martin had one.
Oh, okay. I thought Lynch was the first one.
Look at Paul Cohen in Chelmsford. We've had him on the show a few times. To me, you can't find a better town manager, and they want rid of him.
Sure.
They want rid of
And
him.
you need to label it, you can't, this is the you can't fire me clause. Now, Golden's looking for an extension on the you can't fire me clause for 3 years. He has 2 years still left on his contract.
How old is he?
He wants to
In his
be
50s.
extended another 3
Mid-50s.
years? Absolutely, positively not. Work without a contract, Tommy. Push excellence out the door. He's got no pride in himself.
But if there was a motion brought in next Tuesday night to fire the manager, vacate how many votes would he get?
He'd still have
Get
Maybe
about-
11-0?
11.
10-1?
No, he might get 8. He'd get 8.
Really, you think? So
To
if you-
fire him?
Oh,
No,
fire, I thought
no,
he said
I
to
mean,
keep him.
To keep him.
8.
8, okay.
I would think.
I figured I figured 10, you know?
I think it's him.
Yeah.
9 or 10.
I don't know.
Wait a minute, I'll put their picture back up again.
Oh, here we go.
Gonna put what?
He likes to aggravate me, make
Yeah,
my
we
day a
didn't talk
long
about this
day.
segment of who's gonna run for
Okay,
reelection.
I'm gonna shrink this down so you can see all of our city councilors on one screen.
There's no more John Leahy. And who else
Okay,
did I hear is
so
getting a job?
Corey Belanger should be in this picture, but they never took another picture.
Since then, yeah.
I don't know why, but, okay, so, what do you think she would vote?
No one's gonna run against her.
No, keep the manager.
Keep the
course.
manager. She would keep the manager.
She'll vote with the mayor.
Yeah.
Just as an outsider looking in, I don't see these people a
This
good
guy keep the manager?
representation of Lowell.
Extend his contract?
No,
This guy extend the contract?
maybe.
That's a no. This guy?
Yes.
This guy?
Yes.
This guy?
Maybe.
He has to wait for a call from Michael Gallagher.
Yep.
Tell him what to do. This guy's gone, but Corey Belanger, I didn't think,
Yes,
yes.
yes,
Sakari?
Yes.
Rita?
yes.
Yeah, I'd
It is
say
a
yes. Yeah. Maybe.
Oh,
Vesna?
no.
You said yes?
Vesna, I think he'd vote president. And I think this guy would vote president as well.
Oh, no, Dakota. I think he's one of his strongest supporters. I think.
Okay,
do.
that's your take, good for you.
You don't think so?
I think he'd vote president.
Wow.
He's got 2 years left on his
Now,
contract.
looking at these
He wants two
9,
more.
well, there's only 8, 10, because ladies,
Whatever.
who's going to have opposition?
Who's going to have opposition? They all deserve opposition.
Oh,
Every
you don't have
politician
opposition.
should have, everybody out there should have opposition for, it just makes you do a better job. Keeps you sharp. If you don't have any competition, nobody wants my job, that's how hard it is. That's how hard it is to be a city councilor. Nobody wants my job.
Yeah, I don't think, unless we get someone like Mark Coates or yourself to run in this district.
We go all the way to Drake it. There's
Yeah.
plenty of, there's
Yeah,
plenty
we
of
gotta get someone
well-educated
in
people
this
who live in
district.
downtown Lowell, who live in Centerville, who could be a district councilor. The district that you're talking about is the district we live in. I'll pull up the district map just for kicks.
I think Rourke will run unopposed.
Well, I wouldn't run against Danny. He's done a great job. But this is the district we're talking about. Starts at the connector. Where the little tack is, that's where the city life is. And it goes right through downtown. And then it goes all the way over to the Drake line through Centerville.
And they don't vote.
And there are there's thousands of people here that are qualified.
Do we know why they don't vote? Do we have a,
People.
Nobody's
just-
No,
voting.
we need them to
Same
run,
way.
we need one or two of them to run for city council.
But John, are you definitely not?
I'm definitely leaning towards.
Oh, you are? Oh, okay.
But I don't want to do it. I'm too old. I don't want to do it. But if I have to, I mean, Wayne Jeunesse, I'm sorry, he's just lackluster.
Oh,
And then I think Kim Scott might have a challenger. That district there, she's
Who?
always in a...
who? Who do you think? Not the
Oh,
same
no, I
person?
think a Southeast Asian person will definitely be running
Yeah.
against her. Again, they'll try to beat her, but they're not going to beat her.
But they all need
And who's to
competition.
say they're all going to run for reelection,
All
too?
need competition. And I would tell Mr. Mayor, Mr. Getchier, frequent flyers who watch the show a lot, get another picture taken, will you? With Corey in it, please. Thank you.
Corey will have a tough time if anybody runs it.
He'll have challenges.
Yeah. See, he's citywide,
And
right?
he should have
No,
challenges.
he'll be right in Belvedere.
Belvedere.
If it wasn't for Jimmy O'Donnell, I wouldn't have to try as hard as I do. Without competition, it's just, you sit there, oh boy, I'm the only guy in town. They can't go anyplace else. Not good. Competition is good for the consumer. My take. I'll stop talking.
Yeah, but
That's all right, John.
there's certain people, the way it is redistricted now, it's a lot easier to get elected.
Yeah, you
There's
only
no doubt about it.
need
It's-
700 votes.
Right. I mean, when we had, everybody was citywide, that was very, you think Paul at the M would ever get elected?
No.
No.
He beat Dave.
Who's your school committee person, Bob, in your district?
Dave Conway.
So if that rumor is true, would you run for that seat?
I would never run in Belvedere District. I'm the guy that called them swamp more than anybody, Tom.
Yeah.
And I'm not a sore loser. We lost the power. Belvedere lost the power. Now I would say Pawtuckaville and Upper Highlands and Drake it, make sure you throw Drake it in there. They're part of the new swamp.
Oh, yeah.
That's all.
Proud of it.
I know you are.
How many people did Drake steal from
I don't know.
People that Drake steal from Lowell and jobs. Karen
Oh.
Golden,
Yeah, oh God, Dave Willett.
Dave Willett.
There's another one too. There's another one, yeah.
Rebecca Duda works in Lowell. Just
Oh,
works in Lowell, but
yeah.
she's a great school committee person.
Yeah.
Drake is lucky to have her.
And mentioning those two names, Golden and Willett, when I said earlier about qualified.
They are
they're
qualified
people.
Yep.
It's the ones when you see, what the heck, you know what I mean? Man, it's very qualified, so.
Well, I know one thing, Fred Bahu must be very happy to hear McFadden running, Danielle McFadden running citywide. You wouldn't want her to run in your district, for sure. I mean, they were pushing her to be state rep. I remember,
They were going to run against Rodney Elliott.
Then you got a bunch here, got 3 texts.
Drained
This guy's a
yes, sunk
cutie.
his political career in Lowell when he went out against the vote on the Common.
I agree.
And his wife.
I think
oh,
Mayor
sorry.
Work would be an outstanding city manager. The way he runs meetings and his leadership skills are second to none. Happy New Year to all.
yeah, he has done
Thanks,
a,
Dan. Look at all the red ties. I thought they were Democrats.
That's the last one. Back to you guys.
Remember they were going with, when Trump was on trial, they all showed up with the red tie on.
Oh, okay.
The Republicans. I don't know. I have no, I wish Trump the best. And I think he's going to move more to the center than he is now, right now, to get things done.
Well, what I'm surprised about is how quiet he's been.
Well, because he's got the other guys. He's got,
But first time around, he was at the microphone from day one,
Yeah.
every day.
But
He'd
he
come out
didn't
at
know who his
lunchtime.
friends were. Now
Now
he knows who his
whose
friends, his
friends are.
loyalists. I think the greatest thing that ever happened to this country was that we had a 4-year break of him, and now he's back. I think he's learned a lot, and I just think it's gonna be a great administration. I really, really, really am happy about it.
he wants a
you know,
good, he wants his
his legacy.
legacy to be,
But
he knows
but
now
no,
what
he's
it means to have a legacy.
just.
Well, what do you think? Well, Jeff, you study a lot. What do you think we should do about the Chinese looking up our dress? We're going into our software, they've been into plenty of government. What do you do?
I'm struggling with the rest of the world and how much they have gained control of us. Whether it's technology, whether they're manufacturing our products, including drugs and things to that effect. It is time we stop bringing the most important things back to this country. That's how I feel, and I think China should be. If they're really hacking into our, all our computers and all our banking and all our, then.
buying our land.
I'm sorry.
They bought a lot of land.
They're
Yeah,
buying land, and
Japanese
they own a lot of our food manufacturing. They're running our biggest farms. I'm concerned. I'll tell you. I just
So what would you do to remedy this? I learned a long time ago, if I could talk about all the problems in the world, you need to give me solutions. So what would you do, President Jeff? What would you do?
well, first of all, I bring just about everything back to America. That's where I'd begin. I think this. I don't think these free trade agreements and everything else we have was meant to move jobs overseas and move our technology overseas, and it was so that it kept Americans working, jobs here in America, but it gave us greater reach to sell our products, and I think it's just way ass backwards. Do I have an answer with the Chinese?
President Tom, you're coming up next.
Yeah. So I don't have a solution, but I think the right person's in the White House to come up with a solution.
President Tom,
And what was the question again?
Chinese looking up our dress. They're looking up all of the software, getting into all the computers for the Defense Department, the Treasury Department. What would you do, Mr. President?
I agree with, well, I don't know what I would do, because I'm not qualified. But
Okay, then you can move it to Bob, then we're going to Ned.
Yeah, we already did it by hiring Trump, voting for Trump.
I was going to say that.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
I just think we already did it, and
Jeff
Trump
said
will
the
bring
same
us
thing.
back.
Yeah.
Don't
So
forget,
you're going to make somebody else do it. Okay, Ned,
No,
what's
Trump.
your answer?
Same thing, I think that Trump should be given a shot to see, because he claims he can do it.
I would hit the Chinese right in the wallet.
That's right. I
Say
would too.
immediate, everything that comes from China, 100% tariff. You go into our
Who
computers.
pays the tariff?
You go
doesn't
in,
matter.
Ned,
It
you go
doesn't.
into our computers one more time. The first time you go into our computers, 100% tariff on everything we import from China.
But don't we all pay?
And you know what's going to happen?
No.
They'll stop doing it.
Yeah, they'll
Hit 'em in the
They'll
wallet.
stop doing it, that's right.
When they try to feed us how bad off we are militarily against China right now, China has so many nuclear warheads, China has this, China has that. You'd have to be, like I said, I experienced in 1975 being inside NORAD, which is built in Pikes Peak Mountain. I know we have things that the rest of the world don't know we have. I know we do. We're not that dumb. We're only, 400 or 500 years old, very young country. Made a lot of mistakes in the past, but we're the best country in the world.
Bobby, it's
No
disgusting.
doubt.
It's disgusting the faith that you have in this country.
Yeah.
What about the drones in New
Yeah.
Jersey? All that happened was the president told the news media outlets to stop covering that. Stop covering it. The drones are still there. What the hell is going on?
I think that's just a distraction to the American
It's
people.
a-
Although that's just a.
But why
that's
don't we
just to-
know?
That's just to get us to deflect, so we're not paying attention to what's really important. We
Ned,
start
you got
worrying-
this one.
He has Susie Wiles, who's pretty sharp, by the way. This time running his campaign, Trump. That's why he's acting presidential. That Susie Wiles is a great, great person. I read up on her.
What job does she have?
She was a campaign manager.
Oh, okay.
And now, she's not the chief of, is she the
She's
chief of
going to
staff?
be a secretary, isn't she, or something in his office?
She's not chief of staff?
Maybe she's chief of staff, I forget
I know,
the job he gave.
I know he has the youngest press secretary ever,
Yeah.
right? Yeah.
Well, I think back to China real quick. Just thinking about it, and for any nation to have the amount of information on us as a country, individuals, is pretty dangerous. And I got to tell you, it's pretty scary. I've seen some of this AI stuff and these computer generated photographs. I mean, we're coming to a period of time in our lives for the first time where you can put someone at a crime scene with their fingerprints and they weren't even there. And I worry about stuff like that. So.
Why I don't worry.
That's Susie Wiles, the gals we're talking about. She's
Chief of
pretty,
staff.
very sharp tack, smart gal.
Yeah, she is.
And she's works behind the scenes, and she gets to Trump's ear and said, "Let Trump be Trump."
Is she going to be the next chief of staff, John, do you know?
White House Chief of Staff designee.
Okay. So
That's
sure.
what. Let me
She's gonna
just
get-
scroll up a little bit.
She was big in getting Trump to go
White House
on.
Chief of Staff designee.
Yeah.
Designate. Sorry.
She was big in getting Trump to go after the young voters and going on,
That's right, she worked
going on all these podcasts and I think that was key. I mean, they got the young voters to back them. So
Put the governor in down in Florida. Got the governor down there now.
Ned, do you know if Biden's attending the inauguration?
Of course he will.
Well, because I know Trump didn't attend his, that's why I asked.
I tell you, I bet you any money he's there.
Okay.
Because he's a traditionalist,
Yeah.
and he wants to be what way it should be.
Yeah.
Of course he'll be there, and then they'll show him flying away in the helicopter. But he'll be there.
All right, and no, I haven't heard anything one way or the other.
Well,
so.
I didn't either, but I was just thinking about that the other day, and I said,
If he wakes up,
yeah, he may not be up. Might be the
So do you
inauguration might
think,
be a little
like,
early
you
in the
think-
morning for him.
You think Obama and Bush will be there, Ned?
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I do.
Obama's already said he's going to be there.
oh yeah. He's another one. He believed. He opened up the White House for Trump, and Trump's wife didn't like the way the house looked, so she left. But that's part of the game. But yeah, Obama will be there. They'll all be there.
I think the future looks bright for schools.
Bet you Pelosi's not there.
I think,
She's still in the hospital.
Oh, no, she's out, I think. I think she's out.
No,
yeah.
she's over in Europe recuperating. I don't know if
Yeah.
she's home yet.
Oh yeah, she was in the Congress the other day, I think.
She's back already? Wow.
that issue that Camp K brought up and it destroyed him when he ran for school committee
Yeah.
was giving back money to people that have their kids in private schools. He wanted to give them a voucher. I think
These
it was,
are our last two texts for the day. Great show today. Happy New Year to the panel.
Is there a show tomorrow?
Is a repeat tomorrow, and then we'll back up live on Thursday. And then Happy New Year. That's
Yes,
from
you are.
Keithy Rudy.
Happy New Year, all, Keithy Rudy. He's on the
Good guy.
Recreation Subcommittee, works hard at it. I watched those meetings once.
He's on the what?
He's on the Recreation Committee.
Really? In Lowell? I didn't know that.
After he retired, they put him on.
He's very involved. He keeps involved with everything.
Yeah, stays involved. Good guy.
yeah, I think when it's all said and done, when we look back at the mayor, it'll be all about schools. I just feel good things are coming for the schools. And then he has another year to try to keep his focus on the schools, and I hope someone, before the budget does come out, just ask a simple question. Dominic Lay, listen, put a motion in and get a report on every dime we spend on special education. Pretty simple motion.
And
And
good luck
you'll
with
have it
that.
in front of you. You'll have it in front of you. There's jobs that need to change what they do for their job, like we're down 5 speech pathologists, and people wonder why our test scores are hurting, why kids can't read. We send them to the 4th grade. They can't read. And the 3rd grade, and we'll send them to the 4th. We got to stop it. And Danny Rourke, just keep doing what you're doing for the schools. I think that will carry over for everything in your life, because right now I haven't seen a mayor do a job, and I've worked for 4 mayors.
Well, it's good.
Congratulations
And Happy
to-
New Year to
Yeah,
all.
Happy New Year to
Happy
you.
safe
Congratulations
New
to
Year.
Karen Casella tomorrow, who'll be sworn in
Tomorrow she
as
gets sworn
the
in.
new Register of Deeds.
Yeah,
And,
the new kid up in the
she worked
Ohio
hard,
gets-
she's
yeah.
got it. And
And she hired a great person to be number
Ricky
2.
McGuay Jr. Yeah.
Santos.
well, I still think
Yeah.
you should have got that job. But, you know.
No, she picked the right person. He was in the school department.
I
Great.
must
with-
know him. I must know him.
All I know is Herky Santos' son.
Hercules
It's
Sender, yeah,
terrible.
okay.
He's a lawyer.
He's a
Smart
lawyer.
lawyer.
Yeah, he's a lawyer. He's
I must know
very
him.
good with
Okay,
computers.
City Life on Thursday. Bobby Hoey's going to be the host. Evelyn Thorne's taking the day off. Sam Chase is going to be here. We got no guest that day. Time is short, boys. You got 5 seconds.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Thanks for
Thanks for
listening.
watching. See you next time.